Intro. Today, I'll be talking about iDubbbz once again. If you don't know who he is and what all he has done, I made a series on my channel explaining him and his entire fall and all the bad he has done. This also includes his wife, quote wife, and also the other people connected and around him. There is a link to this playlist in the description below, or you can go to my channel and go see all the other playlists I have that are ongoing as well. There's some pretty interesting cases there. If you like this video or videos like these, make sure to like and subscribe as I do videos on lolcows, internet dramas, and more. Make sure to also use YouTube's new hype feature on this video as well. It is free and it helps me out a lot, a tremendous amount. Thank you all for the support recently, and getting a video against Ian on the hype leaderboard would be pretty funny as well. And thanks to you all helping and supporting, we actually got an important message about a creepy TikTok family and the weird connections that they have with each other on that leaderboard for a little bit. I've not made a community post, but I made a tweet about it. You can go follow me on there, by the way. It'll be in the description. But with all that said,
let's go!
iDubbbz new video. iDubbbz hinted that he had a new video coming out.
Chat, you can help me with the next video. Are there any, like, rumors or criticisms? Maybe rumors is a better way of describing it, but that you've heard about, like, Anisa and I over the years, or recently even. But I'm going to be addressing some of the haters in my newest video, so get excited for that. All the commentary channels, all the clip channels can get excited for that. I gotta get working on my latest video. I want to get it out by Monday or Tuesday, so I gotta be grinding.
And it was released just recently. It is titled, quote, "Coming Clean, ... where he responds to several rumors about him.
I don't know if this is your own theory, or if it's just, like, implanted in your brain from all the other hate videos. There was never a bonus. I never spoke to these losers about a bonus. If you're gonna be a hater, take it the full way. By the way, the background is a work in progress, so you can just tune that out. Today, I'm going to be doing the thing that everyone tells you not to do, and that is feed the trolls. One of the more important things that I want to talk about is my relationship with Anisa. I love Anisa. I love everything about her. I've only grown to love her more with time, and a lot of people online don't see it that way. For me, it's very obvious. I thought more people would be able to catch on. I am quiet, stoic, not talkative. She is the opposite of that. She is loud, very talkative, social. People struggle to understand that dynamic, I think, especially me being a person who has made a career of talking online. So yes, Anisa will oftentimes, like in many relationships, be the more talkative one. We've been together for nearly 10 years, and all of it has been online for the public to see, and there are still people accusing her of cheating, accusing me of being in an abusive relationship. None of this is true, and there is no evidence for any of this except, like, I guess, body language experts coming on and being like, iDubbbz is being stoic here, therefore he's in.
Okay, hang on. Watch the change there. Watch the change there.
I don't know what that was. I have never gotten...
Look at Ian in this moment. Oh my god!
Like, he looks sad. No, he is disgusted at her. He's depressed. He's so disgusted
Working
by this.
on...
He looks disgusted with this.
He looks so uncomfortable. He's like, should I be here? He looks so uncomfortable. Look at this guy's body language. He doesn't want to be there.
Look how miserable he looks. Dude, he looks miserable. Dude, he looks like he wants to sell. In that video.
I mean, I kind of want to now. Okay, so they're not a fan of the resting face. All right, well, I'm not going to smile all the time, fellas. And even when I smile, you guys still, like, contort it into he's so uncomfortable or he's smiling through the pain.
Burn.
Oh, he's so uncomfortable. And
No.
he's smiling on his face.
What?
But inside his eyes, you can see his pain.
Although there are trolls, I'm not going to deny that, it isn't for a invalid reason, and a lot of them are just calling out your nonsense with jokes or with humor like you used to do in the past. It looks the opposite, and it seemed the opposite for a long time now with your relationship with your wife, as it seems to be falling apart in multiple ways, and there is plenty of proof we have shown in the past, especially in my episodes at least, that is pretty solid of this fall in the relationship. Especially even the text messages Anisa blocked me over. Some relationships have their faults, and these might be older examples, but they are valid, and there's only been more over time, more proof and everything else of your all's fall. Also, your examples you show on screen of YouTube videos are not just about your relationship, but showing dumb things you both have done or are doing. Also, the definition of stoic is, quote, a person who can endure pain or hardship without showing their feelings or complaining. That is not what you do at all. You literally show your emotions in this video, and also shown yourself crying a couple of videos ago. And to call yourself this is kind of cringe. I feel like this is a characteristic others are supposed to label you as, and not you label yourself as. It just seems weird. I like whenever he calls Anisa the opposite of the traits he puts on himself, but won't call her emotional, because that's basically what he was implying and or saying. Also get having an IBF, but you legit look like you hate what you're doing most if not all the time nowadays, and don't want to be doing it. You at least shown some happy expression in your older videos. The thing is, as well, is whenever you smile, it looks fake too. You don't really even smile in your streams, which was a whole nother conversation that I'll be talking about in another segment. And I would assume you act this way because you are doing something you really hate, or you're in a category that you really hate, such as politics, where it's a miserable category to put yourself into anyway, or it's because of all the meds that have been forced upon you via Anisa.
For some reason, well, not for some reason, for the reason of sexism and people's view on and them just not liking Anisa, they want to push forward a narrative that she is actively and continually cheating on me. And if you listen to freaks like this guy I'm about to show, it makes sense why. They are obsessed.
Anisa wants to have with Anisa. I think he wants to bang Anisa. Anisa was and wanted to have with this therapist. Well, Anisa herself to it.
Yep. Do you think that makes her what?
Buddy, was she getting plowed?
That's what I'm saying.
What we're describing here is two grown men who are fantasizing about a stranger and his wife and what they do in the bedroom or don't do in the bedroom. That is creepy, weirdo.
And here we have iDubbbz with the bull, folks. There's iDubbbz with the bull.
He's using terms to describe a picture of me and my dog. And what are we doing? So many people will tell Anisa and I of just like, don't feed into the hate. And it's like, okay, we're going to post some normal stuff. Anisa posts just me with a picture of my dog, and this is the type of commentary we get about it.
iDubbbz with the bull. Gorgeous Gabe Platter in the back room of the salon. 3-hour session with all of the male stylists.
If you're curious about the hairdresser these guys are talking about, I will point you to my disgraced boxing coach, Michael Briggs. For some reason, this stupid loser and his dumb as rocks wife decided to go on the H3 podcast. They already spilled their guts. They were getting paid like $5,000 to go on this podcast.
I'm going to be sending you guys $5,000 for the bonus that you never got.
I think they were maybe afraid that they wouldn't get the money if they didn't thoroughly trash us. So them maybe thinking that they weren't trashing us hard enough, Michael Briggs decided to invoke the name of one of his presumably friends and say that Anisa was like thirsting after him.
She definitely had a big crush on one of the guys that would come in and spar with them, because anytime they would spar, she would just be super into it and watch every moment. Yeah, even if he would like beat Ian up, she'd be very into it.
For whatever it's worth, every time Michael Briggs, my disgraced boxing coach, would reference Gabe, he would always refer to him as Gorgeous Gabe. He couldn't help but refer to him as Gorgeous Gabe on the podcast.
I would call him Gorgeous Gabe.
He's a beautiful guy.
Yeah, he's got tattoos. He's large. He's tan.
I don't call him that. My wife doesn't call him that. If you have some unresolved tension or fantasies, whatever the it is, you need to keep it to yourself and not project it onto other people. I wish the best to Gabe. Michael Briggs, on the other hand, absolute creep weirdo. Now, I know a lot of this is very grotesque and obsessive. I would prefer if people didn't talk about me and my wife or other people in this way.
I mean, depending on how you look at it, she flirts with other women online all the time on Twitter and probably has collaborated with some as well. The only excuse for this is promotional reasons and or marketing, but you can't deny it looks like cheating, and it basically is cheating at its core. Also, she does that type of work, so these comments are going to be a thing either way. You aren't a kid-friendly channel or people who are innocently put in the limelight. I feel like this is probably hypocritical as well, as you call people incels, so you are focusing on other people's X-rated personal lives as well, like you're trying to call out these other people for doing. I feel like Ian has made plenty of these jokes in the past as well, and a lot of these people and the clips that he's shown seem like jokes anyway. Now, to go to the coaches segment, because this is a whole different huge thing of its own, already are spreading a lie in this part as well. He implies that they are being paid to be there, like it was a pre-interview fact, but this was a surprise to the coaches from H3, as Ethan thought it was deserved, and I'm pretty sure this was near the end of the interview as well. So the entire narrative he is trying to push is completely wrong and completely a lie, and I don't know why he's doing this. He's legit becoming Hasan. They also are fairly trashing you for multiple reasons they give during the interview, and you're trying to push down their statements against you by saying that they are being paid to do so. Isn't what Ian just did against the coach in that last clip, basically calling him gay because he calls the guy Gorgeous Gabe, and saying that he's in the closet, the same thing but worse than what he was talking about earlier with the clips he was showing, like bashing other people for talking X-rated towards his X-rated wife? In the exact same video, not even a little over a minute and a half since the last clip of him talking about it, he does it himself. Ian, why are you making references to boxing coaches that have no involvement in that X-rated sphere? How is a coach a creep or weirdo? You try to throw out these like things but then don't have any proof. A creep or weirdo? But you're the one that didn't stick up for child marriage, and you didn't bring it up until a live stream later on. That's how I'll go ahead and spoil it for you. Ian does not talk about the child marriage clip and how he basically ignored that coach, and you'll see the reason why later. It's completely ridiculous. You are the creep. You are the weirdo. You're the one that basically like let these people be silenced because of some stupid reason we'll get into later. This guy should not be at all in politics because of just how he acts towards this. He's not meant for this game. He never was. He should have stuck with what he was doing previously.
I briefly want to talk about the concept of being a lol cow, because these losers, they love the concept of like labeling someone a lol cow and then like bullying them and watching their life spiral out of control. They won't, say as much. They'll just be like, yeah, we just do it for laughs. The whole thing's entertainment. It's just just innocent guys just having a laugh. Thankfully, Anisa and I are in a much safer and privileged position than many other people who are the targets of guys like this who want to bully them into submission. So now I want to look at two different clips from these guys. There is the fat one and his cohort who are listening to Anisa describe, like, essentially having a hard time online, seeing people mock and make fun of her dad with Alzheimer's.
They were laughing at my dad for getting sick on some of these forums. What did you think?
What did you think? Because you shared it online?
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's what people are going to do because they want to get a reaction out of you.
Yeah.
I don't think they probably even really believe the stuff that they're saying, but they know because it's extreme and, like, edgy that it will cause you mentally spiral like this. So that's why they do it. And you're telling them that it affects you. So guess what? They're going to keep doing it. This is how the internet works. It shouldn't be, but that's how it is.
The whole time, he is not saying that he is a perpetrator of bullying her. What he's saying is that other people are doing that. But he is doing it actively. In this video, he is bullying Anisa. And in other videos, he's literally bullied and made fun of her dad who has Alzheimer's.
With a late-stage dementia patient who is a extremist Muslim, and he sees his daughter covered in tattoos, married to iDubbbz, and he just freaks out. iDubbbz is having to take him on walks through the neighborhood, talk to this demented guy.
So this is something that he's very familiar with. But for some reason, in this moment, he refuses to take any ownership of the fact that he is part of the problem.
Like, that's what people are going to do because they want to get a reaction out of you. So that's why they do it. And you're telling them that it affects you.
He doesn't want to admit it, and it makes you wonder why. And we get a little window into that at the end of the clip.
This is how the internet works. It shouldn't be, but that's how it is.
He says in this moment, it shouldn't be. Why do you think he says it shouldn't be? Could that be because it's wrong and it's a mean, evil thing to do, to acknowledge that someone is suffering and deciding that you are going to attack them online continuously for the thing that they are, either insecure or struggling with? It's plain as day that he's part of the problem, but he refuses, like a coward does, to take any responsibility for him being part of the problem. I don't think a lot of these commentary channels want to be held to a higher standard. I think they want to comment on the strategy of things, and they don't want to reveal too much of their own morals or principles. This next guy is the perfect example of what I'm describing. He is being very critical of me talking to a therapist. And by the way, that wasn't even a therapy session. I just happened to cry in that moment, and I was like, this might be able to communicate authenticity, so I'll include it.
And then Ian goes on a podcast with a therapist and gets extremely real with him, which is a profoundly stupid idea. Like eating with your mouth full on camera. He of all people should know better than to go on a therapist's podcast and vent about his very real problems on a public forum like that, because people will use that information against him. Like this.
This same person live streamed his own therapy session where he actually cried.
If you're going to be a hater, take it the full way. Take responsibility for having the opinion that crying online is pathetic and weak. Don't say, I am the enlightened centrist, and other people are going to make fun of you for that.
Because people will use that information against him.
People will use the information against me? Who's people? I'm pretty sure you're people. You're the one who's playing this clip. You're the one who's making this video called the most toxic wife. I don't know why these don't accept the full troll mask. They're acting as if being sincere is impossible to do online. It's not impossible. It's difficult in the situation that Anisa and I are in, but we're making that choice intentionally. So you making this bold claim that we are like unaware what happens when Anisa talks about her dad who has Alzheimer's, or me crying, like, we're very aware that that is going to be viewed as gay and be made fun of by people like you.
These people are probably just covering what you all are doing, and some of those videos aren't exactly related to you. And there's a lot to talk about in this space of Hasan, H3, and you, so they're going to have a lot of videos in this playlist, and some of these people are actually connected to you in ways, so the playlist will have other videos in it about other people. Sorry, some real crackers actually make entertaining videos going over stuff and upload often, unlike you. Ian's series on my channel is about more episodes than Daniel Larson's at this point, which I think is kind of funny and interesting, and I think over time Ian will definitely overgo the entire episode and probably lengthwise total of the Daniel Larson series, which is an interesting feat to have, to be honest. The examples you used to show that this guy was making fun of Anisa's family member and all this other stuff weren't really good either. I thought it was going to be way more harsh and way more like crude, but you act like he said something insane and use a small example to show that he is a uber bad person in your eyes, when that just doesn't seem to be the case at all with the clips and proof you are showing. Especially because you want to act like he's this bad of a guy and that you know exactly what he's been talking about, and like you've been watching the videos and doing your own research. You had to go get these clips, but you couldn't find any good clips? What's up with that? And since he brings up the commentary channels, I think a lot of commentary channels actually express their actual opinions, so I don't know why he's saying a lot of them don't. He acts like we don't have a backbone, he acts like we're not openly honest. We don't agree with you, we debunk your videos, that's our opinions, the only correct ones too. We don't have to be extreme, performative, overly expressive, or hateful in our videos to say what we mean. And which are you? Are you stoic or are you authentic? Because now he wants to call himself authentic, but being stoic and being authentic are like two different things. I don't think you could genuinely be both, but of course we already know the answer to that. Also, this looks like a therapy session of some sort. I think the guy in the clip he shows is correct. He went on to a psychology podcast and basically had a therapy session of sorts where he goes and vents on there. And don't get me wrong, therapy isn't a bad thing to do. Okay, I'm not bashing that. But I'm just saying it looks like that.
Now I'm going to react to a couple of these random creators who have made videos or statements about Anisa and I, just to give you a taste of what an average is. And additionally, like in making some of those videos, it just attracts a certain type of person where they're like, I'm going to list off a bunch of people I consider lol cows or people who are mentally like disabled, and I'm going to tell you to make documentaries about them. And then in that case, like, I'm not doing that. You're seeing that happen right now with World of T-shirts. There's a lot of people who think they're like doing it responsibly or respectfully, and it's just like, what the f is any of?
Bro, what is going on? Anisa legitimately convinced him his entire being as a person is bad.
Did I once say my entire being is bad? You're allowed to be critical of yourself and the content you're making. You would benefit from being a little critical of the content you're making. Like, what the f is this? Like, actually comment on what I was talking about. Do you agree or disagree with a statement that you should be making videos and documentaries about people who are mentally disabled because you are encouraged by your fan base to do so? Do you agree with that? Maybe engage with the prompt.
And fellas, and even fellettes, all right? Never, just listen up, all right? Never let your partner actually change you this much. Never let them convince you that you are so bad as a person, like everything you do, the way you act, everything you believe is bad, and you must agree to their way of life, everything they do. Obviously,
why do you think that she thinks everything I do is bad? I'm like, man, these people have drank the Kool-Aid to a disgusting degree.
Obviously, if there's legitimate criticism taken into account or whatever, but this is legitimately tragic. He cannot be proud of a single thing he's ever done in his entire life. He just feels guilty about all of it because of Anisa.
Dude, I'm proud of plenty of things. I'm not just going to go on stream and declare it. Like, what do you, like, it's so boring. Like, I don't want to talk about how proud I am of making the Airsoft Fatty documentary. Like, do you guys really need me to bloviate about how I really enjoyed following the narrative structure of a fatty battling with his friends in Battle Creek?
It was my opinion that some of your content in the past was actually good before. It was actually logical. You made some good points. You don't need to feel so bad about every single thing. You know, maybe you did some bad, you said some slurs, it was bad, whatever.
Dude, I know. I just... This is so frustrating. I just want to say, like, a lot of the things that I'm going to talk about are going to be upsetting, or they're going to be a downer to you, because that's interesting. I don't know if it's because I have a higher threshold. It kind of feels like I do, right? A lot of the things that these commentators are commenting on is they're saying, like, oh my gosh, that would crush me, basically, if my wife described me in that way or said that about me. And it's like, okay, it would hurt you. You're feeling bad through me. You think that I'm feeling those same feelings that you're feeling. I'm not.
Kind of like good to your content as well. You're legitimately, fighting against like evil people like that.
Because I'm sensing this guy as being his own version of sincere, because I honestly think, I don't know how old this guy is, but I'm going to say a teenager, a teenage commentary YouTuber. I'm going to say that their version of sincere is going to look very different than mine. I'll take what I can get right now from this guy. When I'm giving my actual authentic take about something, you don't need to put the blame on my wife. You don't need to say that she's controlling me. This is very off base. People who are in relationships, they communicate, they talk. This is just the reality of getting in a relationship and becoming more enmeshed. Like, it happens. If we eventually have a kid together, like, it's very important that we're on the same page and that we communicate. I know it might feel like you have some outsider insight, but it is just very wrong. I feel very free to speak my truth. Yeah, I agree, Bri.
Do you want to know why it makes me so mad? Because there was a point in time back in OnlyFans season 1 where I was like, dude, iDubbbz
man. Such a chill guy. So down to earth. Loved meeting him in real life. Loved playing games with him. This guy, fucking man.
I think Tectone is remembering this in a kind of a weird way. It seems like he's very nostalgic and happy about it. He's being very over the top of how epic I was. But by this time, everyone had like decided that Anisa controls my life and that I'm a beta male soy boy. So it actually is very funny that he's coming out now saying like, man, he was the man just 2 years ago. It's like, dude, cat was out of the bag 2 years ago. Also, it's weird because I didn't play games with him other than we were in the same guild. I don't know. I think he's just trying to add on to this narrative that the internet likes of, man, he used to be so awesome. He was so cool. And then he got corrupted by that.
He was one of my favorite content creators of all time. And to see that this is what he became. I mean, this guy inspired me to do content. Like my breakdowns on people's entire character was inspired by iDubbbz. And it's so lame. Like to see what one woman and Hasan can do to a mother is insane to me. And if he just would have remained true to himself, he wouldn't have ended up this husk of a man he is today, and probably would have way more viewers and wouldn't having to be making content that he hates for money. It's just
this is such a cope, man. Like hearing Tectone say it, it's just like it's reminding me how many times I've heard the script. These people cannot fathom that the based epic N-word guy has changed his mind over time. It's got to be a woman or Hasan. I think if they accept that I came to that decision on my own, they have to reckon with some demons of their own. Like it's hard to accept the fact that I've taken this journey and it's not one I regret. It's actually one that I've felt better after doing.
And Tectone is right. This guy is such a disappointment. Like iDubbbz calling people incels when the first woman he met literally destroyed, like took over his life and destroyed him, dude.
I don't know if this is your own theory or if it's just like implanted in your brain from all the other hate videos, but Anisa is not the first person or not the first woman I've met. I've met plenty of other women. She's certainly not the first woman I've dated, and certainly not the first woman I've had sex with. But I will admit that she is the first woman I married.
Lolcow doesn't mean mentally disabled, just a lot of the bigger examples of lolcows are mainly mentally disabled. I don't know, now that I think about it, Wings is pretty mentally deficient as well, so maybe they all are. But it does seem like Ian has had a lot of self-hatred towards his old self for a long time now, multiple clips of him bashing himself. It's more than just being critical. I don't see anything wrong with the lolcow coverage either. I do it myself and I give my opinions on it and that's about all. Although there might be bad apples out there. I'm not going to say that there aren't bad apples that do the lolcow coverage. I'm just not the example of that. But a lot of the things that happen towards these people, towards these lolcows, is basically completely self-inflicted. It just sounds like he's talking about another thing that he has no idea about. Insane. But hey, the king is here to kind of debunk you, buddy. But there seems to be some proof of Anisa not being great towards you and changing you. Ian used to be good for multiple reasons. Then out of nowhere it seemed, whether because of Anisa or not, he changed completely. Both his video style, like the editing, the energy in them, it all completely changed in just what felt like a snap. And people noticed it, they stayed subscribed, they got tired of it over time and started unsubscribing. They're also just tired of like, you know, this isn't what I subscribed for. Another thing that Ian does in this video that is kind of weird is that he seems to, multiple times in this video, do projecting. Like saying, oh, everyone else has demons inside of them. Everyone else is secretly gay. I'm the one that's completely fine. You're all crazy. This is what the video feels like. You're all the bad people.
Also, there are a lot of grown men out there who were outraged to find out that I changed my last name from Washburn to Jama when I married Anisa.
Who took his wife's last name, taking Anisa's last name, taking your wife's last name.
He's taken her last name.
His last name?
The last name, the story. Okay. Oh, yeah, there's so many. I forgot.
I think some of these people think I'm trying to push a woke agenda, but I don't give a what anyone does with their own last names. This is what I chose to do because I like her last name better.
I cannot believe he actually used a Sam Hyde clip. I'm very surprised he even acknowledged his existence because that is something that he really hasn't done for a while. He's kind of just tried his hardest to ignore it. I am honestly very surprised, and I think he is hinting at making another video on H3 soon because of the quote goblin mode in the background that was like transparent during one of Ethan's clips. But maybe Ian isn't as artistic as I thought anymore. It's kind of interesting that he took the last name in my opinion as well. I feel like the reasoning for it might not actually be true that he says in this video. I wonder, like, he talked about a bad home life before, or that was exposed or leaked by people that he had a bad home life with him and his dad. So, I mean, if he was honest about it, which it seems like he isn't, oh, I just liked your last name better. Is that really the case? I don't really believe it. A lot of people are not going to really believe you anymore, and I'm not going to believe that fact. If you had like a bad home life and you just hated your people that much, then say that. That makes a lot more sense.
When my rancid boxing coach and his wife decided to go on the H3 podcast as like this mutual exchange of talking about Anisa and I in exchange for $5,000, that was sort of under the premise that I owed them some sort of bonus money.
Yeah, I mean, like, we were also promised a bonus on CC1, and we never got it. But because Michael was so nice, he didn't want to, like, make Ian feel uncomfortable and ask Ian and Anisa about it.
And I was always under the assumption that there was no bonus, because even though he told me there was a bonus, he then disappeared for 6 months and I never saw him. So I was like, was there a bonus or was there not a bonus?
There was never a bonus. I never spoke to these losers about a bonus. I was paying these people an hourly rate to do the job that I asked for them to do, and they got paid. This loser with the beard got paid $32,000 for training an influencer to box, and she got paid $9,000 to film some of it. They conveniently never talked to either one of us about it.
You confronted about that? You asked them, or you didn't want to?
No, I just let it be.
Because I'm the same.
They conveniently don't have any text messages or emails or contracts that have anything to do with bonus money, because that conversation didn't happen. They are lying to Ethan and his crew, and they're lying to the audience.
How is it that we put on this great event, we raised $1.3 million for charity, and he promised us a bonus, and then right after the event, he just kind of pretend like he's too busy to check in with us.
Too busy to check in with you? I don't need to check in with you. You're not my parents. Like, what are you talking about? You weren't promised a bonus. I was doing my own. Why the would I want to spend my time with you when I'm filming a show with Dax Flame? You guys are losers.
You confronted about that? You asked them, or you didn't want to?
No, I just let it be.
Because I'm the same.
If it was promised to you, if this imaginary bonus was promised to you, that should give you a lot of confidence to at least say, bonus? That's potentially a lot of money for you, you know, in this fictional scenario where you were promised a bonus. Surely it makes sense to at least inquire if it was promised to you, right? Because I'd been consistently paying you day after day for all the work you were doing. So if I never missed a payment for you and your wife, and a bonus was promised at some point, then don't you think it would be pretty obvious and apparent that you should text me, hey, what about that bonus? Of course, but there was no bonus, because you're lying. Like these crooked people. They came on this podcast, they used this bonus thing as some sort of like weird exchange of like, yeah, we can't go on the podcast and just talk blatant about our clients. So what we're instead going to do is pretend like we were stiffed by our clients after they promised us a windfall of cash. There's so many other truthful things that they could have focused on the podcast that would have made me look like a certain, you know, sector of the internet. One of those things being me crying after a tough sparring session. Like, that's truthful.
Did you say he cried?
We had to have a meeting.
So after that, so he was crying at the gym.
It's okay to cry, but it's not okay for him to cry. Now, to the crew of the H3 podcast, I have something important to say. I think you are all pieces. All right, everyone, that is going to do it for this episode of iDubbbz Complains. If you want to hear me complaining live in your ears, particularly today, if you're watching this video the day it comes out, go and check out my Twitch live stream. I'll put a link in the description. I am going to be reacting to the H3 podcast where my rat coach and his rat wife are being nasty rats together. So go give it a watch, give it a listen. And I'll, probably for the rest of this month, I will be reacting to and, I don't know, stirring the pot.
Of how they were paid to be on there. I don't understand why he used such hateful language towards them either, unless he's trying to be more like Hasan, which is probably the case, and I think that it's been very evident for the past few videos that he is going down a complete Hasan copycat route. And like you can tell in some of these clips as well that I'm about to show that it's just so gross, it's so disgusting, and it makes me like just miserable as well watching this. I get secondhand misery looking at clips of Ethan, looking at his face, his facial expressions, and like the way he talks now. You never had like a mumbling Ian that was all snarky and stuff. You had like a Ian that actually spoke and was not like, if he was snarky, it was for comedic reasons, not for malicious intent. There could have been a verbal agreement for that bonus that they have been talking about, or maybe there is proof of this out there, but who knows? I haven't seen anything myself. I do think whenever money is involved, you should speak on it. There should probably be a bit of like, you know, proof somewhere, whether it's through text messages, emails, contracts or something. And also like that they shouldn't have, like, if you're in a spot where you need money, you shouldn't be like, I'm just going to leave it. That's $5,000 or whatever he needed, you know what I mean? And they were talking about needing a loan for the spot or whatever. You know what I mean? You can't be like, whenever you need money, you can't be acting that way. I don't know. That was just weird to me. Don't, like, stand up for yourselves. You need that money, then get it. Just make sure it's clear next time. Or for anyone else that watches this video, make sure that, like, it's clear. And I know that they aren't exactly real boxers, but there probably should have been some talk after the event about possibilities of future trainings and such, or future events that they would need their assistance on. Creator Clash was known to be extremely lacking with communication and empty promises, and from what it sounded like in a clip you might see later on, Ian talks about how he wasn't doing boxing again, but it doesn't seem like he told their coaches that. Also, you know, if they're like your real friends or whatever, then sure, but apparently it seems like Ian is not, like, they're not friends anymore, of course, but like, it just seems like Ian did the service and then left, and then there was kind of like a misunderstanding that they were supposed to be friends after and such. But also, the hateful approach doesn't make you look tough or stoic, it makes you look very performative and emotional, the exact opposite of stoic or tough. Like I said before, it seems like he's trying to do his best Hasan impression. He's also so back and forth. Do you want to respond to drama and be a part of it, or do you want to do your own thing and be left alone? He's so flip-floppy on it, and he's so inconsistent on that, like, part of him. He didn't even respond to these huge and valid points that were made during the podcast. He responded to like small things, although the money was kind of important, and some of this stuff was responded to later on in like live streams, which why would you not go, you know what I mean? The child marriage thing was one of the hugest things, and it's brought up in the comments as well. Why didn't you bring that up before? And either way, he should have never ignored the child bride stuff. Before I end this segment, we're going to be going over the comments. Carlos Martinez-JS6JZ says child marriage is bad. These are all top comments, by the way. 6Wacko Mastermind 9 says he's chairless, he's balding, he's depressed, he's stoic, he's felted. Whoa, buddy. Sectors says Ian embodies stoicism. He's the sole definition of stoic. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy on achieving happiness and inner peace through cultivating virtue, reason, and self-control. And if this means sitting in the corner chair, who are we to judge? Also, yeah, I feel like there was more to go over in that video than what he brought up. You know what I mean? He brought up some points that people have been talking about, and he doesn't really respond to them well, which I'll probably talk about again in a minute after the comments are over. But I feel like there was probably more that he should have responded to. Are you in the corner chair, bro? Like... Zoo68 says, you have no room to call anyone's wife, quote, dumb as rocks. And yeah, this brings up the point again. I don't know why he was so hateful towards this woman that was a victim of something and also not white. You're a racist pedo sympathizer, bro. I don't know how else to put it. Also, your wife is like the same person who goes on Twitter and spurgs out like about every day over any and everything and is known to like show signs of like severe mental illness and like low mental stability. Next is by BuzzBomb777 saying, what does Ian and DSP have in common? Their live stream viewer count. Which, if that's true, that's completely insane. Blue Rose 1264 says, quote, you're making it so obvious. This is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are. Talking about his like past video on H3. And yeah, I mean, I feel like, I don't know if they talk much about like their stuff like that on their podcast, but I'm sure they do. I'm sure they talk about their personal life and kind of air some stuff out. But the thing is too, is that like these are live stream podcast episodes versus a video that he made, he edited, he probably wrote and edited. Like, you know what I mean? There's so much more effort into this video versus a podcast. Podcasts are known for like in real life, you know, getting a bit more personal and talking and having conversations. You had the choice of putting you saying you're stoic in the video. I wonder what he takes out of his videos now that I think about it, because if you're leaving in that you said you're stoic, what are you taking out of your videos that is worse? Laced Unlaced 2319 says, calling a child bride survivor a loser is crazy. And there's actually more comments about this in a second. Oh, it's actually the next one by Rodzilla8314 saying, quote, dumb as rocks is how he described a woman who grew up not going to school but being sold as a bride and taking care of a man. Ian, empathy, man. Yeah, this is the guy that's supposed to have empathy for people but completely bashes a person that had to go through being a child bride. You know, so there also all the mental like stuff that comes with that, and you made fun of how she acts on camera and stuff. That's absolutely insane. There's going to be long implications of like mental illness there. So you're a sympathizer in what? Is it ableism or something like that? What's like the ist for like disabled people? No, she's not disabled. Flame C says, it seems like half the audience of this channel now just hate watches it. And that is very true. I don't think Ian really does have like supporters or anything. You know what I mean? I really don't think a lot of people watch the video and support it. I feel like most, if not all the comments, 98% of them, because there's going to be that 2% or so that are weirdly supporting this. You know what I mean? It's just very, like, usually whenever you get signs by the internet or you get a bunch of, like, I don't understand these people's mindsets where they've been corrected so many times that they still think that they're, like, what they're doing is valid, what they're doing is good, despite everything. You know, it just seems so... There's like a mental block right there where they're not paying attention to certain things that they need to be paying attention to. Oh, it's Clementine says, you, sending human skulls to someone's house is funny. Also you, harassment is bad, but only when it's toward me and my wife. And that's a good point, because he wants to talk about, like, you literally said that the skulls being sent over, the human skulls, I'm pretty sure they were like actual human ones, is funny. You said that that was funny. You said that all this stuff that was happening with Ethan, you, like, basically try to gaslight him into thinking that, like, he's overreacting to stuff. Snow Dash Assault says, I see you're taking the Onision route, going in circles over the least important arguments while ignoring the major points being leveraged against you. You will keep doing this until this ship completely sinks. And yeah, can anyone remind me of other important points other than the bride thing that I've brought up in the past? And the Ethan, like, you know, gaslighting Ethan and think that he's like the problem or whatever. There is several things that I've probably forgotten about that is in this series that I forget to bring up that he has also done that he didn't respond to in this video, because there is more points than just the last name. And what else? Like, it just, he responded to a bunch of small random stuff, like those people that he kept showing clips of. I don't really know. I don't know these guys, but those points weren't really like exactly valid. You know what I mean? They weren't like coming clean. This video wasn't coming clean at all. If anything, you dirtied yourself up even more. Overall, the video responds to some points but not all of them, and the responses aren't that great and seem to be hyperbole even. iDubbbz' streaming failure. Whenever my video went out last time, Ian was apparently on live stream saying some random stupid stuff, like how he wanted AB from the H3 podcast banned if he showed himself on live stream. Here's the clip.
Also, if AB's in the chat, ban him. If AB Starkiller is in the chat, ban him. Ban him and block him.
This isn't the only person he has banned, as he's banned Nicholas Diorio, Bo Blacks, and some others that didn't do anything. Bo Blacks' situation, he like subscribed so he didn't get ads, literally gave like Ian money, and he still banned him. And then I think Ian, or not Ian, but Nicholas Diorio did the same exact thing, like just gave some subs or something. And he got banned as well. They were like simply just watching the stream. They weren't doing anything malicious or saying anything bad. But like I talked about earlier, he actually responded to the child bride stuff on stream, and here's that clip.
He messaged me about this child marriage thing, and this was after Creator Clash 2, and it was very importantly right after Michael Briggs requested that I be his guarantor on a loan to open like a boxing gym. And I don't know if you guys know what that means. That basically means he's asking me to be responsible for like debt if he isn't able to like pay the loan. Now this, I want you to keep in mind. He said how embarrassing, humiliating it was that I was doing this like live stream to make up for the fact that we lost money on this event and money didn't go to charity. He was aware of what was happening. He knew that I lost my match. You know, I hadn't been making videos or making any money, and that, you know, obviously I've been having a hard time online. I made my apology. Things were rough for me. But he comes in with his request of, hey, you mind being my guarantor on this loan? Meanwhile, he has no problem messaging me that. But I guess he couldn't message, hey, I could use that $5,000 bonus that you promised me. She, by the way, was very deliberate in saying that I promised her that. Like, that is, like, very specific language that she's using. That didn't happen. So I was extremely offended when he messaged me requesting that I be his guarantor on a loan. I did not have any, like, the idea of supporting him in that way was like not like it was just offensive. It's like, oh, you literally aren't even acknowledging that I lost a tremendous amount of money on this event. I didn't say that, but I was short with him. I said, like, in no world would I ever be able to do that, because I wanted to express like very clear boundaries. And I did. And I don't know how long later it was. I wasn't done being angry about it for sure. But Kate did message me about like a child marriage bill thing. And I didn't pass it along to Anisa. I looked at it and I closed it. So was I being like, you know, negligent to that relationship? Sure. But no, Anisa and I don't support child marriage or whatever crazy story that they're spinning. I was just angry at them, and I was like, you know, guys, I'm not going to be boxing anytime soon, and yeah, I'm done with it. But at least for the child marriage thing, like, they didn't message Anisa about that. That was definitely a me thing, me being like just kind of angry and uncaring about it.
Now, the loan thing I get, but why didn't you bring up that in the video? But just because they didn't talk about the loan doesn't mean that you ignore the law like that completely. He was just being petty and weird, and still, why not talk about it? You don't even have to make it about her, or, you know what I mean? Especially as someone in Washington, a lot of people probably don't know those laws. It's so weird coming from the dude with a terrible reputation that wants to get into politics. You ignored a law that was being put into place about child marriage out of pettiness. You don't belong in politics at all if you're going to be this way. And it gets worse because Anisa accuses Mike, the boxing coach, of being inappropriate towards her, saying stuff like this in what I'm assuming is Ian's chat. He wouldn't stop hugging me. It was really, really upsetting. I kept trying to push him off, and he wouldn't. I was embarrassed. It made me feel really embarrassed, and then he wouldn't let me leave. He kept hugging me, and I was trying to push him off, and I cried. iDubbbz, can you explain why I was crying? Nah, it's fine. Like, there's not a lot of context here, and if they actually did something bad, then why was that also not brought up in the video? People don't believe your statement, especially because of just one, how Anisa is as a person, and credit has been completely took away from you. But if they were doing something weird and creepy and whatnot, you should have gave Anisa her own time to tell this story or something instead of just randomly saying it in this. I don't think they actually ever responded to this at all, so we'll never know. If it's true, it's insane, but it's hard to trust Anisa. But it's actually just like clinching and boxing and like sparring and stuff like that. That'd be kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't exactly know. Either way, I haven't seen her discuss this on Twitter at all, so no follow-up or anything about this at all, probably because it's not true. Because why aren't you saying something on Twitter? Why aren't you saying something in the video? Why didn't iDubbbz bring it up? Why didn't Anisa bring it up? No video from Anisa or no stream really quick either to talk about it? Why? What is going on here? There is so much that does not make sense that it just makes everything so unbelievable. To end this segment off, here's some other takes about Ian streaming.
Are you a Radiohead guy, Ian? I'm not. I've never been a Radiohead guy. Anisa was like, oh, Radiohead's so great. I listened to a couple songs. I'm like, oh yeah, Radiohead is great. And then we get some info that Radiohead is a little bit like Zionist coded. So we stopped listening to it. So, you know, it attracts the tattoos and the gold tooth attract a lot of hate from basically. I need to come up with another word to describe it because I hate to necessarily lump them all together, but I essentially just want to say the incel community. Because there's something about it, incel, that I feel like properly describes a group of people that have not discovered self-expression. And they're like nervous about being like too performative and being like, I don't know, being themselves. Hit me up to fix your bitrate. I might do that. Those are the ones that seem to be like attracted to the idea of like my tattoos being the worst thing ever or my gold tooth being a problem. Everyone else just, you know, it's a cool little accoutrement that, you know, 99% of the time isn't even worth talking about. Hate it because you look cool. Well, I think it does go a little bit deeper than that. I just think they haven't, like... I would venture to guess that a lot of these people who hate on tattoos or whatever, they literally haven't gotten to the point where they can do different self-expression with their clothes, let alone their skin.
These guys are in such an insulated bubble. They've been probably talking about this at the dinner table or whatever. Oh, God, my life is so hard. This is happening. Oh, honey, my life is so hard. This is happening. I can't believe they treat you like that, honey. Oh, I can't believe they treat you like that, honey. And that's like his feedback loop, just talking to his wife about it. So he comes out and he confidently says it to an audience of people, and they're like, you look like an asshole. And the reason why it's not getting caught is because his wife is... Right? So your feedback loop is talking to an egotistical. So then when you field test those arguments, you look like an egotistical
Oreo. Mr. Oreo.
What
would you wanted
Yeah, it's an Ouroboros, dude. I'm sorry, Ouroboros.
You should have told us.
True. I meant Ouroboros. Sorry, I misspoke.
In our inner circle.
This guy talks like how an unenthusiastic job feels.
Careful, bro. Yeah. Nah, there's nothing to be careful about now. I'm like... I feel very free to speak my truth. Yeah, I agree, Bri.
Do you want to know why it makes me so mad? Because there was a point in time back in OnlyFans Season 1 where I was like, dude, iDubbbz is the fucking man. Such a chill guy. So down to earth. Loved meeting him in real life. Loved playing games with him. This guy was the man. He was one of my favorite content creators of all time. And to see that this is what he became. I mean, this guy inspired me to do content. Like, my breakdowns on people's entire character was inspired by iDubbbz. And it's so lame. Like, to see what one woman's and Hasan can do to him is insane to me. And if he just would have remained true to himself, he wouldn't have ended up this husk of a man he is today, and probably would have way more viewers and wouldn't having to be making content that he hates for money. It's just, it's pathetic.
Play as MC and give out awards.
So we actually didn't even know.
Why do all these stream losers host award shows for their friends? Guys, we're going to do the commentary awards, and we're going to only give it to Smaggle. And that will be, like, henceforth, no, he's chatter of the fucking century. All right, none of you guys can apply. We're gonna give it to Smaggle.
About the gala until
It's like the incest awards for the cringiest streamers.
about probably maybe less than a week before the event, or a week before the event.
Welcome back to the Blackball Awards. This year, the
Nick
same
just
people
started
who won are
insulting
the
his
same
vicious
people
on
who
Twitter.
were winning last year. Yay!
The only mistake, we're $500,000 in the hole right.
Okay, Anisa has some fire to spit.
It really pissed me off with Harley saying, like, we would have really liked to know. Being $500,000 in the hole year 2 is actually amazing. Year 1, we were $1 million in the hole before the event, and that's normal because production, broadcasting, renting the arena, paying fighter purses, all of these things cost money. Second year, we were actually less in the hole because we had I think it was a clothing brand that gave us money forward so they could be
Moment House or one of these?
Yeah, Moment House gave us. We're actually doing better, but it's very normal when you're putting on live events to be in the hole for all of the money because or a lot of the money because you're essentially waiting for the last 24 hours for the pay-per-view sales and everything. All the sales come in 48 to 24 hours. So nobody needed to know that we were in the hole. It's normal business.
Couple things to add on here to the streaming section. Apparently, iDubbbz and Anisa stopped listening to Radiohead because the band is, quote, Zionist coded. Anisa said, like, oh, Radiohead is great. I listened to a couple songs, so yeah, Radiohead is great. But then we got some info, and apparently they were Zionist code, so they stopped listening to them. I'm guessing the some info is from, like, a group chat that's, like, not Hasan himself, but, like, someone that, like, gatekeeps talking to Hasan, I'm trying to get at. Anyway, Nux, which don't get me wrong, Nux Taku has, like, said multiple, or did that weird thing a while back. I don't have, like, the full context of it or full understanding, but it really hurt some ordinary gamers' point of view as well, and I think, like, it was a really weird situation that probably should never really happen, but he's made a couple of points, and I'm just going to go ahead and give him, like, tell y'all this time who the tweet was from. I don't support him or anything, but it popped up. It says, don't forget that iDubbbz is married to a woman, and OF CEO donated over $11 million to Israel. Guess it's time to find a less Zionist-coded pimp. Virtue signals are so fun, and once you notice, they stand for nothing except for their grift. And it's kind of true because it's really hypocritical, but, unless someone probably says something in his Twitch chat, he probably won't respond to it. I think that's probably one of the ways that you could get iDubbbz to respond is going to his Twitch chat, but it also requires watching his stream. And to go on to another clip here, Willie Mack's show, if you wanted to understand or kind of get a detailed description of what it feels like to experience watching a live stream of Ian's, it says this: watching Ian's 6-hour live stream is horrible, man. He hinges on every small word his coaches use and takes it in the most literal way, and it's extremely boring on top of that. Even when he's angry, Ian shows no life behind his eyes. And we've already seen this before with, like, the no thing, like the no, like, emotion thing, or, like, the performative emotions, like the overly angry, how he looks miserable so much. People are saying he's on SSRIs, the just, like, they're supposed to make you happy or whatever, but they just, like, completely, like, kill you out, like, zombie you out. His voice cracks. It's like watching him go through puberty over and over. I didn't notice one of those. I've probably voice cracked a couple times in my videos as well. One thing that really gets me is, like, seeing that this dude gets, like, 250 subs, or, like, has that goal on his Twitch chat too. So it's like, this guy's getting way, like, all this money for what? Just to be the person that he is. It's like, man, like, hand me that bread instead, bro, please. Like, I'd rather have that bread more than him. You don't need it. And if he does, then, like, he ought to be more honest and be better at making actual videos instead of sitting there streaming all the time. It's like, bro, if he could get 250, then so many people can actually succeed on Twitch. It's insane. You can get away with saying anything as long as you, like, I don't know, suck the right toes or something. I don't really know how, like, people get away with doing as much as they do, and, like, how people just be giving subs away like that. To, like, $5 a sub, they make, like, they get $2.50 from each, I'm pretty sure. So, like, 500, or I forgot, 250. I forgot how much it was. I'm not going to do the math. I'm not going to think too hard on it. But It's just insane. It was like $600 or something, so it's ridiculous. Like, bro, pass me that bread. Anisa's relaunch. Anisa started back up her X-rated account, the of account, as I like to usually say, with the announcement saying, "In true succubus fashion, I'm announcing my relaunch. You can subscribe now. Lots of photo sets to come." It's also $10 a month if you didn't know. Ian actually responded to the announcement saying, "I love succubi. Sorry to those who have never experienced the love of a succubus." Which, if you don't know, a succubus is a demon from h3 hockey sticks that occupies a female body. Succubi prey on They prey on emotionally weak men and steal their souls through X-rated activity they use to collect their soul fragments to gain power and enslave more men. The 4 pillars of succubus entity are lust, greed, gluttony, and selfishness. Wait, so lust, greed with the money, the 34%, gluttony with the cooking, and selfishness, which is their whole career. No way! I cracked it! I literally just cracked the code. They are not joking. She is a actual demon, guys. Anisa is a real demon. I cracked the case while making the video. While I'm reading this out, this is insane. Succubi use psychological warfare to enslave men. We've seen this already. Many succubi enter their host via an immensely strong link between a man and woman's soul. Interestingly, the male prey can save a portion of his soul by evoking a satanic chant to sever his link permanently. Although it's not recommended, it is extremely dangerous as it leaves the male soul vulnerable to demonic possession as well. And people say that he makes these videos for Anisa too. The male version of a succubus is called an incubus, and the same definitions apply. This is insane, guys. This is insane. I literally cracked it. You're all welcome. Anisa's evil. Anisa's actually a demon. What in the world? She has been posting free stuff on Twitter, just a couple of pictures of herself with flirtatious captions. Then there are, and also, like, she doesn't post, all she does is post topless, apparently. There's no, like, messages or DMs. Like, you can message her, but you can't be, like, doing X-rated text with her, so it's kind of weird. All you're getting is just pictures. So you're basically, what you can find on her Reddit or on her Twitter is what you're gonna find, but like a few more pictures on, you know, her $10 account. So it's just like, it doesn't seem worth it to me at all. Then there is also her responding and commenting on other accounts' posts that are X-rated as well, which I brought up earlier about her basically cheating. Basically her flirting with other women publicly online while being married. She got hate for this, of course, and responded to some of the hate saying this. The reality is, being an apathetic, angry loser online is the only good for quick internet points and nothing else. You sell your body online. I mean, like, you get quick internet points and stuff, like, especially on, like, any social media, you can go viral because you do this, because you show yourself off a little bit. You have to stay online in your echo chambers, you do as well, so you don't face the reality that no one likes you aside from the faceless chuds. This can also apply to you, but except, like, not faceless chuds or whatever. Also, aren't you, like, complimenting people? Isn't chud a good thing? I can't remember. That's why you're obsessed with us. You don't want that to be the case, but it is. Eventually, you will all eat each other for attempting to pursue happiness later on, and for most of you will never cower back into your nasty internet holes. You're mad we crawled out and you can't. You're in the internet hole still, and if anything, worse than you've ever been. This tweet doesn't make sense at all. She also made another tweet saying, the replies to this tweet are racist and disgustingly X-rated brain. My husband has brown pants on, and the comments are frothing at the mouth about a fantasy of black men they conjured. How's that racist? Because they bring up black guys? I don't really know. I don't see how it's racist to say that you're banging a black dude or something. I mean, are you racist? Like, is that... I think you're just projecting again. I don't know. Also, you can't say disgustingly or you can't say disgustingly, like, X-rated brained, because you literally make that content. I don't understand what you're saying. It doesn't make any sense. What are you saying? Some people also responded, such as Billy Mitchell, saying, it annoys me that iDubbbz is the only reason that college jobs will not be locale of the year. He also responded to the announcement that she was going back to her of account, and he says, it seems not getting that 34% really hurt. I'm very confident that the Billy Mitchell Twitter account is ran by Keemstar. I don't think Billy Mitchell really be saying all this. I really don't. I doubt he is actually on this Twitter account at all. Before I end off this segment, I'm going to be going over a post from the H3 Productions subreddit saying, by Mother Holly, saying, Ian iDubbbz is in a relationship in my opinion. I know some people will dismiss this part as part of the drama, but it really isn't. I'm a longtime advocate for victims of interpersonal partner use and have been in more than one relationship like this myself. Ian has said and done a lot of dishonest, unkind things lately, but Wednesday's episode honestly made me feel bad for him. I'm guessing they're talking about the H3 podcast. Isolating him from people he knows, telling him how to feel and what to think, controlling where he is and what he does, pushing him to make erratic financial decisions, emotional, mental, financial. I have experienced all of these. What they described Anisa doing is so textbook that upset me a bit. How they detailed her behavior remind me a lot of two of my more abusive partners. My speculation based on what I know and have experienced is that their relationship will not work out. Financial control and isolation is hard to deal with the long term, and she doesn't sound like the most empathetic partner. I think Anisa will eventually want to move on because he starts to resist, or he gets tired of it, or something else will happen. When they part ways, he'll probably try to be amicable and move on quietly, and she will turn on him and make every problem about him and tell people how awful he was. Mark my words. I have predicted this since the past as well because of those text messages that came out from Anisa talking about how Ian isn't that great of a boyfriend, that she's gonna make an exposed video very quickly or very soon after their divorce or after they break up, because it's just bound to happen. I think Anisa will try to use that to get her own platform. You know, there's something going to be said at the end of it by her, and maybe they'll try to fight each other. I don't know, online, go back and forth. I'm not exactly sure. Nathan Barnatt versus iDubbbz. Although I shown comments earlier from iDubbbz's latest video, there was one I left out for this segment's sake, and it's from Nathan Barnatt, and it says, "But can we box?" And I think the last time I looked at the comment, it had over 10,000 likes, which is absolutely insane. There's been more updates recently to Nathan Barnatt's callouts against Ethan. Nathan and Ian had a brief moment in text conversation, and it says this, and Nathan made a video on his own talking about it, saying, iDubbbz responded to me, and it's a text message from Nathan saying, "Yo, would you like to box? Do you think it's something you'd be open to do? I'd love to do it and think it would do well, and we'd both benefit from it. Let me know. Praying hands emoji." And iDubbbz just says, "Oh, brother, kick rocks." Like, why do you have to be so rude? Why do you have to be so mean about it? Because, like, why be rude to him whenever he's been very nice? He's, like, saying, hey, it could benefit us both. Would you like to do it? And instead of being like, nah, man, I'm good. I don't really want to box anymore. After you already talked about being open to boxing in the past, you decide to go ahead and do this very, like, aggressive and weird response that's very copying of Hasan. I don't understand why he had to be rude here. Ian also talked about it in an interview about why he would not box Dad, saying this.
His behavior hasn't been cool. Like, he's been literally talking about you guys. He's been contributing to the negative attention. So for anyone who's like shocked of like why you don't want to fight Dad, like, no, you have no reason to fight Dad. There's no reason for you to step in that ring. You have nothing to prove to these people. And even though you did say you're down to fight another time, it doesn't mean you need to fight Dad. So anyone who's,
yeah, I mean, I've sparred Dad before, and like, I'm gonna be honest, like, it was not very competitive. It was like, no offense to Dad, he's been killing it in the ring, but like, it's not really something like, obviously I try to do fights that are really competitive, that challenge me, and I'm not looking for that. And beyond all of that, I'm trying to find my own peace right now, and it's really hard. Fight physically, fight online, fight all these different battles simultaneously. I do not want to participate in 50 different fights. It's just not, it's exhausting. It sucks. I'll figure it out with time, but one fight at a time, I think, is all I need.
No, I feel you. And I mean, plus, yeah, like when Dad fought Matt?
Mm-hmm.
Matt, yeah, that was like a 15-second fight, so we never really got to see what he can do. And the fight against AB got gassed out very quickly. So, I mean, again, you definitely have more endurance than the two of them. You have the better boxing skill. So I actually do imagine that it wouldn't have been that much of a competitive fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not a fan of him, and I just don't want to give him my attention in general. Like, I think he's been, so him.
Hey, I feel you. iDubbbz, recently you're talking more about what's happening in Palestine. I wanted to see, when I started the stream, I kind of mentioned.
I'm not even talking that much. That's what's crazy. Is there's so many losers online that just like they're like I mean,
I know how annoying it is.
It just sounds like excuses. Dad is literally all offense. 2-0 with 2 TKO wins in like the first round, while you're 0-2 in decisions. How is Dad not all offense or any offense at all? You have no idea what you're talking about once again. You're an idiot. I can't stand, like, he acts like he knows what he's talking about, and then he's like, nah, Dad isn't all offense. He literally has a 2-0 record. Why didn't the interviewer bring that up? Like, why are these people so dead brain? They have no idea what they're talking about. Put me in, coach. I'm tired of all these people talking to iDubbbz and not at all saying anything whenever he just makes himself look dumb. Make him feel dumber in that interview, being like, oh, he literally has 2 TKO wins in the first round. That requires all offense. Also, it's sparring. It's sparring, dude. Like, you're going to be trying to play more technical and other stuff as well. You're not trying to kill each other. Shut up. Shut up, Ian. You have no idea what you're doing. Leave the internet, please. I'm so sick and tired of this. H3 responded to the text message saying this.
And so Dad goes, yo, would you like to box? Do you think it would be something you'd be open to? I'd love to do it. I think it would do well, and we'd both benefit from it. Let me know. Oh, brother, kick rocks. After all the guy did for your events, came year after year, trained year after year, paused his life and a lot of the stuff for you and your event after you guys ran this event into the ground and f***ed him over, right? You owe this man. There's no question about it. You've got the nerve to tell him, oh, brother, kick rocks? Dad, the nicest guy in the world? I'm flabbergasted. It's so cruel.
It's actually just evil. Like,
it's just evil.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Kick rocks?
Dope.
So who says kick rocks? What do you
I
think, Grandma?
don't know.
Go kick rocks, bucko! Shut up. Just call him the N-word like you used to. You know, just be the real iDubbbz. Come on. Kick rocks is not working. It doesn't have this, you know. Get old-timey. More old-timey, iDubbbz.
Jews are so funny when they get mad.
You know what? That is not okay to say. Yeah, I mean, it's mind-blowing.
Yep.
This honestly dumbfounded me. Ian f***ed Dad over, and now he's trying to tell Dad to kick rocks. What did Dad ever do to Ian?
And even Ian's old boxing coach offered to train him as well. Boxing coach's wife posted on her Instagram story her and them commenting under the H3 clip of talking about, you know, Dad boxing, or calling out Dad to box Ian, and saying, I would help train you, Nathan. I can't believe he said he would fight again, and he's for sure lying, but if it's misfits could get him to sign, I would for sure train you. And then says supporting the H3 family. So there is that. I don't know if he will ever box again. I don't think he ever should. I don't know why people would ever give him a platform. I would like to see like a lamb to the slaughter type of moment where he's just going against someone that's way good and is just going to finish him quickly and get him out of there. No win bonus or anything for him. Dad also got a hosting gig on Locale Live, but, you know, Locale Live openly supports files, so I just hope that Dad's show, it's not Locale Live specifically, it's like one of the side shows, and I hope that it isn't connected too much, or he doesn't have to deal with the live rodent that is in the Locale Live universe right now, and it succeeds, as he needs the money, and he deserves the break. Although I don't really like Locale Live, I don't really support it. Locale Aussie actually hit me up in the comments about the creepy TikTok family. I say message me on Twitter or Discord, and they didn't do it, so... And I think they were also on live stream talking about how they were like complaining about viewership or not viewership, getting like people on the show. Well, I was open to it. Does Keemstar, did I get like a red flag from Keemstar? Did I not get like am I not allowed in? Like Keemstar is like, no, I hate that dude. Like what? I love and support Keemstar. I just wish that you know, Wings of Redemption wasn't involved in everything. So that's about it. H3 versus Ian and Anisa. Of course, Ian and Anisa are still talking about H3 and everyone a part of the H3 podcast, although I think Ian did kind of start it this time since my last video whenever saying he wanted to ban AB if he enters the stream. So I think that's basically where it started, to be honest. There's some other back and forths that we're going to go over here from H3. To explain some context really quickly, an old Reddit account by the name of pedo_troll was linked to be Ethan Klein's old Reddit account, and he actually admitted to it here. It's like 15 years old or something. So he responded saying, my friends, I have a terrible confession to make. Yes, it is true. My 15-year-old Reddit account was identified using a doxing website that lists history of all emails and passwords that had been linked to in illegal data breaches. A post last night was made on the Snark subreddit by the person who obtained the information. With Reddit's help, this person was able to disseminate this illegally malicious obtained information to a community whose sole purpose is to harass me, my family, and my employees. In doing so, the terrible revelations were made. Yes, my account username was pedo_troll. Made a few bizarre and edgy attempts at being funny. It was common on Reddit 15 years ago to create a thematically named troll account to post silly things from. The method was to have Redditors read something crazy, then check the username and realize it was a goof. You can see the evidence of this on most of the posts made, a quote in character. These troll stories include some anecdotes that clearly never happened, including a story that references my children who were born 10 years later. Further evidence of this is simply that I was self-promoting my YouTube channel while doing these parody posts. I knew I was personally identifiable the entire time. I was trying to be funny so people would look at my account and discover my YouTube channel. I was not ashamed of it then, and I am not ashamed of it now. Embarrassed? Yes. On par with cringing at my old YouTube videos. Yes, there are a few posts of me, quote, being a Zionist Jewish supremacist, which includes me mostly arguing with someone calling Israel Nazi Germany. In totality, about 95% of the posts were about StarCraft 2 or self-promoting my YouTube channel. I have nothing to hide and nothing to apologize for. And remember, folks, joking about it's not the same as having it on your computer. And that's very true. I'm not going to lie, he kind of does have a point. I thought this was going to be a big scar on his record, but apparently a lot of people just don't really care about this. And he makes a good point, is that joking about it and actually doing these actions is completely different. And this was so long ago, and he hasn't really done anything repetitive like this since, as far as I know, like at least recently. I feel like the Ethan Klein of like 4-ish years ago, or whenever the iDubbbz stuff and whenever he started exposing Hasan was like a flip of the switch, and everything after that is kind of like forgiven in a way. Not exactly forgiven, it's just remembered and like, okay, but he's changed now. Ethan Klein's one of those guys that can get away with it. And yes, if they were jokes, then sure, it's whatever. I don't know what these jokes were. I haven't looked through the account. iDubbbz actually responded to this saying, it's my character. I'm pedo_troll. I come out, make comments all over the Reddit. And then he responds saying, hey, N-word guy, take the back seat on this one. He also makes another post saying, iDubbbz, Ethan made offensive jokes 15 years ago. Also iDubbbz, 4 years after my jokes. And it shows Ian saying, sees a guy wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. Nah, I don't think so, dude. Stuff like that. I think there was one about like doing bad things to Garfield, which, hey, you leave Garfield alone. You leave Garfield alone. Okay? We're not taking that. So yeah, also like, yeah, Ian cannot say anything at all. He made a lot more edgy content, more recent than the pedo troll comments. Also 15 years ago, that was 2010, which is low-key kind of insane. Like he just stopped posting on it like after 2010, I'm guessing is what's being implied here. I don't know exactly. Next is another tweet by Anisa saying, I've never seen internalized misogyny quite like whatever Kate Yang is wrestling with, which is the boxing coach's wife, by the way. But I hope she gets better soon. I know she left her job because she got her butt whooped by another woman and got a rib cracked, so I know she's probably not making many friends. It makes sense that she would gravitate towards those bozos. I don't know exactly what she's talking about here. I think this is the boxing coach, but he responds saying, keep going, Anisa, you're doing great. Anisa tweets the next day or something like that saying, last night I was feeling hurt and wanted to defend myself. I acted very impulsively. I thought it'd be acceptable to show my words in a private message. Oh, then no, I don't know what this is about at all, but I forgot to really sit with how others would react/retaliate. It made a more negative impact than I expected. I should have sat with my feelings more and, to be honest, got off Twitter. Ethan responds with the notorious shut up female dog. Like just a picture of whenever The Rock says it. Anisa also says, my ability to get men to scream about me for hours on end needs to be studied. I guess talking about the H3 podcast and how everything was going on with that. Yeah, I mean, they're profiting off of it. They're making more money than you are. You're literally doing nothing right now, so... come back to streaming. Give me more give me more money. Does she do anything to make money at all? She doesn't stream. I don't think she makes videos at all, or else they would be talked about. So what does she do other than sit around and just use all of Ian's money? I forgot about that. She is literally just she just cooks now. She actually finally started doing something useful. And apparently her cooking ain't no good either. And here's some clips about the Anisa versus H3 thing, as I think they go against each other sometimes, and there's like other streamers like point of views and thoughts on the situations.
You're getting beat up constantly, and then you're supposed to show up to the gym the next day and the next day and the next day. AB can attest to it, right? So it's mentally very hard. So I
Shut
feel
AB.
bad for him because I could tell he wasn't into.
Dude, I've been having so much fun watching H3 thing, like, just go nuts. Been like a new little surprise every day. And it makes me happy. I want to like react to some of the slanderous comments about me in like a stream in the future. I think I'm going to release a video and just promote the stream and then spill my guts on stream once we're in September. Be careful, bro. Yeah. Nah, there's nothing to be careful about now. I'm like, I feel very free to speak my truth. Yeah, I agree, Bri. Yeah, because it really doesn't help play by the rules and be like super reasonable. I think there's a time where you need to like pull back. I even said it in my like content comp, is essentially like, yeah, you can't keep volleying back harassment back and forth. But when people just like continue to do it, it's like I'm just taking a bunch of heat for no benefit at all.
Every day, Ian. Every day, iDubbbz starts his he just looks at his shoes everywhere he goes.
No.
Ian, Anisa doesn't let him look in her eyes anymore. Even he gets scolded if he looks her in the eyes.
Dope.
It's bad. It's really bad. Honestly, I feel bad for the guy. I really do. And now he's streaming to 100 people. 100.
I know.
And he's being promoted.
109.
I don't even think it's worth the embarrassment of having fallen. I don't know if I don't think I could do that. If I ever fell off that hard to where I was streaming to 100 people.
Yeah, I think you would hope you have someone in your life
It's
to
something
tell you,
else. Do something else.
You know what? It's time to close shop.
Or the streaming thing is not working. You're not good at it. People don't like it. Maybe people would still watch his videos. I don't know.
Maybe he's going for Rising Star this year.
Well, I don't know. I heard Krogan is in the lead.
Oh my god. She's
still rising. It's a battle. It's like Rainbow Road. Two battling stars racing. You know, every once in a while.
But like I said, attack me for a lot of things. Don't attack my guitar playing. Because I know I've worked hard at that. So just...
You're going to have to defeat her like Scott Pilgrim.
Right, yeah. Guitar Hero 3 ending, dude.
By the way, Anisa, list one skill you have.
Ruining I can say publicly what I've been calling her. Anisa the Destroyer. She's like Galactus. She just destroys everything she touches.
True.
That's a really hard question.
We all know. No, but unironically, Anisa, name one skill that you have.
Watching the H3 show daily and never missing an episode.
I mean,
she's got that on lockdown.
That's not a skill even though. That's just
the dedication.
Yeah.
True. Love of the game.
Something you've put time into getting better at. And by the way, once again, you might say cooking. I know you just picked that up, but I also see that every time you feed Ian, he literally retches.
Not go nuclear.
He's eating baked beans, bro.
Ian, you still think anybody is scared of you? Like, what is that? I will
This dude
not
is
go
shoveling
nuclear.
baked beans into his greasy face.
You know, in Dennis the Menace,
I make.
Dude, go nuclear. Your pants. Do whatever you want. Live your life. Nobody cares. You're already doing whatever you want. I thought you were free.
I got to see this greasy, unshowered loser shovel baked beans in his mouth. Let's see this.
No, I won't go nuclear.
Go ahead, take a bite. Oh yeah.
I have a policy of not going nuclear because I feel like it's, you know.
He thinks he's doing something here.
I have
It's
a
too
policy of eating first and then saying something, and not like chewing and trying to talk at the same time, and like your beans are.
We don't have any room to.
I have nothing to say about that.
I have that policy.
I have
That's
no,
my
I have no
boundary.
comment.
That's fine. Okay, you can have that boundary, but
I think eating beans like on its own, that's
pretty wild.
Baked beans straight to the dome. No. No, it's not a side dish. It's the whole meal. What was that? What was that? What Anisa made for breakfast? She opened a can of baked beans.
Yeah.
No, that's. Are you kidding? Of course, that's canned.
You eat it with barbecue or Mexican.
Honey,
food.
dinner's ready. Here's a bowl of baked beans and an uncut bagel. Bro, people in prison eat better. People in Vitaly is eating better in a Filipino prison.
But don't worry, she's taking on cooking.
If Vitaly spent the evening with Anisa, he'd say, "Take me back to prison." The sad clown. But eating baked beans, man. It's even a meal.
Hold on. Isn't IA Plus the actual LGBTQ thing? Isn't that actually the... I actually don't know. Is that not the actual ending to the LGBTQ? Oh my god, that works. Ian and Anisa Plus. It's EHD IA Plus. Why have we not been doing that the entire time? EHD IA Plus. That's perfect. We're just going to continue adding people. That's actually, unironically, that is actually perfect. Holy EHD IA Plus. There it is. Yeah, dude. Day one meme. I'm retroactively saying we've been calling it that from day one.
Oh, Anisa's got something to say.
The all-knowing succubus knows you're watching, Ethan Klein.
Oh.
I know you're watching.
She's planning.
I'm plotting.
Plotting and planning. Ooh. Oh, bad things are happening. Uh-oh. She floats out of the room on her broomstick. What is that meant to mean? Oh, smell your finger? Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I don't know, something tasty? No.
You don't know what that joke is?
No, like you wiped your butt or something?
It's like that guy friend.
But yeah, go back to the kitchen.
Yeah, go back in the kitchen. Stop trying to share your thoughts. Okay? Nobody cares, girlie. Let your dumb husband attempt to stream to 130 people.
Misogynist. I need to be on a leash.
When it comes to Anisa, I'm a raging misogynist.
By the way, Anisa, you said you were gonna stream. What happened? Go stream. Maybe you'll make more money than your lame husband at least. You'll probably get more hate watchers. You'll make more money.
She will absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if anyone...
Like, be a strong woman. What are you talking about?
I feel like Anisa's clip on iDubbbz's stream was kind of weird, calling out H3 and stuff like that. It also felt really soulless, like their interaction between Ian and Anisa and just Anisa in general. It just all seems pretty soulless and emotionless. I looked over iDubbbz and Anisa's Twitch tracker, by the way, since Ethan was talking about how bad like their streaming stuff has done, and he was actually right. So to go over iDubbbz's Twitch tracker, the only time he's had a spike in viewership, I think, is whenever he actually uploaded these videos. The video was uploaded 5 days ago on the 9th, so yeah, that's why he has the 3.2 thousand viewer count or whatever. And then I don't know why on the 13th he had a huge spike. There has been rumors of people like view botting. There's like a whole thing going on in some of these conversations you're going to hear in these clips about view botting. I think it's specifically during the next segment, but there is that, and I feel like, you know, and it's true, like, he is right. He is averaging, like, 100 people, 100, like, 200 max, but there's also times where he's done better. After the 3.2 thousand view stream, he got 2,000 followers, and then proceeded to stream afterwards. He's actually getting followers for now, but he went from 265, 600, 701, 1.7 out of nowhere for whatever reason. I don't know what the important... I think this was the docket stream, because he had a stream where he went over some doc of some sort, like document. I don't know specifically what, so I think that's why this stream was big, and everyone was reporting on how they were getting banned by him. Next day, he was streaming for an hour and a half. I think he was live at the point of the screenshot, and has 305 viewers, and is getting a little bit less followers. So I think he's going to be going right back down the decline very soon. To be honest, it's very expected. And you go over to... it says his average viewers are 738, but that's not correct at all. His average viewers are truly like 160 something, to be honest. Anisa's were also worse. She hasn't streamed in like over a year now. It's been like a year and a month now since her last stream, and she didn't even average 100 viewers. She averaged like less than that for the most part. She would get a little over 100 sometimes, but she was still losing followers very actively, and also just getting low stream numbers. View-wise, and she would stream for okay amounts of time, like nothing over 4 hours for whatever reason, other than a few times. But that was like days ago, as you can see on the chart, or like days from the streams. And she hasn't been streaming at all, and I don't understand why she hasn't. I think Hila calls it out. Why are you not streaming? What is stopping you from streaming? You literally don't do anything. Do a cooking stream. Do something. Be entertaining. Do streams. Give me more clip. Give me more money. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like to think... I think that's kind of like snarky in a way. It's nothing more than what they've done, but why isn't she doing anything? Why is she being so lazy? But these jokes that were made by H3 are absolutely comical, and I love the mess. Like, I love this mess of their dramas and stuff. I love watching it from afar and laughing at them. I think some of the jokes that H3 has made are really funny. I mean, I'm just gonna sit back and make my videos on it from afar while I watch Ian be a weirdo. iDubbbz supports Shadman. iDubbbz has actually had a history of being involved and being supporting of YouTube's equivalent of Epstein, a man known as Shadman. Now, I've talked about Shadman in the past, but not in this series, and if you don't know who Shadman is, he is a X-rated artist, but he used those skills of being an X-rated artist to draw non-M-rated people. One time was specifically with Keemstar's daughter, which was very absurd and weird. Shadman was exposed. There was actually a whole literal list, like the Epstein list, that came out against a whole list of YouTubers that were in support of Shadman in the past. And I think iDubbbz was on that list, but it went like over everyone's heads for a while. But thankfully, Nicholas DiOrio and H3h3 have now exposed this fact once again that was forgotten for a long time. So let's go over this here. This was actually going to be a part of the H3 versus Ian segment, but I realized that this was such a huge piece of news that Maiko uncovered. This might be like the main talking point to me, or like the most important talking point to me, other than the video itself and maybe some of the streaming clips, because there is this is huge to me. This is actually a huge fact. I feel like a lot of people are going to overlook this and not understand the severity of what Ian did here. So let's go over this. Nicholas DiOrio tweets this, and then it's posted on H3h3's Instagram story, and says, iDubbbz retweeted that artwork created by Shadman that depicted a child version of Hillary Clinton and linked to additional not safe for work versions of those images. Shadman was inspired by Ian and placed several content cop related Easter eggs inside of his artwork. And then there was the first, you can't probably really see it in the video that well, but it's iDubbbz's Twitter, and his name, the main name, was the Tarantula back then, but the at is still iDubbbz, and it shows that he retweeted Shadman artwork. Next is another Instagram story by H3h3 saying, while Ian and Anisa pooped themselves over the outrage of my 15-year-old Reddit account, which I talked about in the Ian versus H3 segment, Ian collaborated with a known person just 3 years ago, Shadman, which is absolutely insane to think about, that this all kind of went unnoticed for a very long time, and I feel like this isn't talked about enough, and I feel like people should stress more against iDubbbz to actually come out and talk about why he supported Shadman multiple times, and especially in 2022, 3 years ago, 2022, not that long ago at all, supporting Shadman and showing his artwork. Like, that's crazy to me in a huge amount of ways, because why would you still support him through this? Like, I can't even, I personally, I can't really defend back then either. Back in, what year was it when this tweet happened, or this retweet? Looks like 2015 or 2016, right? And then years later, so he was still connected to Shadman and still seeing this artwork despite everything that happened. And that's absolutely insane to me. This is disgusting, and I feel like people need to pressure iDubbbz more into responding to this. And this will actually probably be my promotion tweet, which is a possibly a segment of this video, or a segment of this segment, I guess, and putting it on Twitter to try to see if iDubbbz would respond or not, because this is actually big in more ways than what people expect. And to be honest, this is kind of just like a wave of like woe to me. I don't know if people will feel the same exact way as I do about this, but I do think that this is disgusting. I do think that iDubbbz possibly, like, there shouldn't even be, well, I mean, nah, for, like, purposes of, like, documents and documenting it, maybe, like, archives of not safe for works, like, safe for work drawings of Shadman stuff maybe be shown as examples and stuff. But I feel like this is close to, like, I feel like both Hasan and Ian are both getting close to being banned or being heavily, like, looked down upon online. Like, there's a new era coming, and it's going to get really bad soon. This is absolutely insane to me, though. It is really, really insane to me that he supported Shadman even back then. I wonder how he's going to respond to this, if he ever will.
He messaged me about this child marriage thing. And this was after Creator Clash 2, and it was, very importantly, right after Michael Briggs requested that I be his guarantor on a loan to open, like, a boxing gym. And I don't know if you guys know what that means. That basically means he's asking me to be responsible for, like, debt if he isn't able to, like, pay the loan. Now, this, I want you to keep in mind. He said how embarrassing, humiliating it was that I was doing this, like, live stream to make up for the fact that we lost money on this event and money didn't go to charity. He was aware of what was happening. He knew that I lost my match. You know, I hadn't been making videos or making any money, and that, you know, obviously I've been having a hard time online. I made my apology. Things were rough for me. But he comes in with his request of, hey, you mind being my guarantor on this loan? Meanwhile, he has no problem messaging me that. But I guess he couldn't message, hey, I could use that $5,000 bonus that you promised me. She, by the way, was very deliberate in saying that I promised her that. Like, that is, like, very specific language that she's using. That didn't happen. So I was extremely offended when he messaged me requesting that I be his guarantor on a loan. I did not have any, like, the idea of supporting him in that way was, like, not, like, it was just offensive. It's like, oh, you literally aren't even acknowledging that I lost a tremendous amount of money on this event. I didn't say that. But I was short with him. I said, like, in no world would I ever be able to do that, because I wanted to express, like, very clear boundaries. And I did. And I don't know how long later it was. I wasn't done being angry about it for sure. But Kate did message me about, like, a child marriage bill thing. And I didn't pass it along to Anisa. I looked at it and I closed it. So was I being, like, you know, negligent to that relationship? Sure. But no, Anisa and I don't support child marriage or whatever crazy story that they're spinning. I was just angry at them, and I was like, you know, guys, I'm not going to be boxing anytime soon, and yeah, I'm done with it. But at least for the child marriage thing, like, they didn't message Anisa about that. That was definitely a me thing. Me being, like, just kind of angry and uncaring about it.
Hasan versus H3 and lawsuit update. We will start with the lawsuit update for this segment since it's going to be really short. This is from Casey Tron, and here's Ethan going over the recent documents that were filed in this court stuff.
It's just copy pasting. I mean, it's unbelievable. The lack of effort that's gone into this. So that's what it is by their attorney. Besides what's written here, the most interesting takeaways are these, and I'll tell you. Kind of as I touched on, one, they did the laziest, cheapest response, and they failed to tell their story. They had a chance to respond, and they did not take it. The biggest thing to me is they failed. They had the opportunity to file a motion to dismiss. This is what you do when you believe you have a frivolous case. You're telling the judge, this is so frivolous that I'll just set the facts straight for you, and it's so obviously fair use that we don't need to waste anyone's time going any further than this. They did not file a motion to dismiss, which means the attorney looked at the facts and considered them all, that they all have merit, and that there was no way in hell a judge would grant a motion to dismiss. That is essentially a confession, a concession that the lawsuit is not frivolous. Because if it was, they would have filed motions to dismiss. That would have been a no-brainer. They didn't do it. The lawyer said, let's not even do that. Let's save money, right? You have no chance of winning. So that's interesting. The other interesting thing about this is that they did not file any counterclaims. We were expecting them to try to file counterclaims, which means they would include in their response some ridiculous trumped up defamation or something, just something to give them leverage against us, to be like, oh, so you know they have to deal with this. Or you want to negotiate? Well, we're going to drop our counterclaim now, and you have to drop your lawsuit, this and that. They didn't even do that.
So it looks like it's not going well at all for Casey Tron's end. It's kind of weird to me because when you think of lawyer, you think of like the smartest people in the world. You think of people that know it all and all this other stuff, but it seems like that's not the case with whoever Casey Tron hired. You know what I mean? It seems like there's a lack of knowledge or at least experience there. And there's also, of course, been the possibility of Casey Tron spending the money from the GoFundMe on other things such as smoking and this trip that she was on for whatever reason during that time. But here are clips of Hasan and H3 going back and forth as well as others' responses to Hasan.
This standard was evenly applied. Don't you think that spending the last year calling me a dangerous Hamas mouthpiece, a Hamas actively demanding that people take action against me, would put you directly in harm's way for legal repercussions? You spent the past 22 months actively making a villain out of anyone and everyone, firing off hundreds of Instagram stories, so much so that you couldn't even fucking imagine yourself. You couldn't believe the amount of Instagram stories you'd posted before this debate. You thought it was a lie when I brought up the receipts. You couldn't believe it. And then you turned around and fired off 10 plus stories every day. To this day. It's ridiculous. What do you think? Spreading misinformation about me, constantly clipping me out of context, regularly demanding that like people take action against me at a time when the government is taking action against me. What do you think you're doing? You know exactly what the you're doing. Okay? The notion that like I was invoking your wife that you also openly recognize participated in an illegal raid in the West Bank as a part of the occupying forces that did a war crime for any reason other than the fact that she did do that is ridiculous. Okay?
It was one of the most requested.
W moved by doing all this press public appearance because Ethan's an idiot who lies about you being this public means all he says is lies. Otherwise, they'd never talk to you. I mean, I don't do the W press because of Ethan. I don't think about Ethan Klein at all. He's not a person that occupies any kind of time in my mind, if we're being real. I have also specified that IDF veterans are not valid.
So why did you bring it up?
Why did you bring me up?
You know, like he's like, no, this is no, she's not a valid target. She's not been in the army, and this happened 20 years ago. Why'd you bring it up?
And why do you bring me up regularly as a terrorist? Yeah. Why are you doing that regularly?
Yeah.
Destiny has nothing to do with what Hasan did to me. I don't know anything about what Destiny did. This is not a three-way situation.
I didn't even know anything about this. Apparently, Destiny, in response to Hasan's essentially calling Hila a valid military target, I guess Destiny, who's a total, who again, we had like a flawless victory here, and this went there and made him, gave Hasan the ability to cry and be the victim.
Right.
Which he did. Now he's been on his Instagram stories being like, oh my God, I'm getting death threats, you guys.
Yeah.
What do we get? This is unbelievable. We need to do something about it. It's like, oh, you don't like it when people give death threats to you?
Pathetic.
That's really interesting, dude. But because of Destiny's, he went on Discord, in his Discord, and he said something like, somebody Hasan Piker, just something brazenly insane. For the record, I don't believe anybody should do violence on his
stupid
content.
and crazy, and we would never say anything like that. And I have nothing to do with what Destiny says.
Yeah. Well, apparently he's my closest collaborator, if you ask. He's hiding under the desk.
If
No,
Destiny
but it's
was
like-
my roommate,
It's like, yeah.
Hold on. Hasan has something to say.
Oh.
if Destiny was my roommate, I'd get him laid all the time.
Oh.
Right, because you're a bro.
Now that's closeness.
Hasan derangement syndrome. We're like, oh, I stubbed my toe. Thanks, Hasan. I will never understand. For the life of me, I will never understand it. What I do to some of these people, because I'm just over here covering the news, and dudes that I never think about, dudes that I never talk about, spend every waking moment trying to bring my name up in every conversation, including like ETH. I don't have a single cryptocurrency coin at all. It's literally because you're brown. Understand? I mean, I'm so white passing, dude. Well, that's crazy. Maybe people do see it that way. I don't know. Pre-October 7, I would have argued with you on that front, but like low key, I think that does play a big role. But I don't know. Nah, actually, you know what? That's not it. That can't be it. No, but I'm serious. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. There's something that I do to like a lot of these dudes. It's mostly dudes. I don't think I have like crazy women stalkers like this that are content creators. It is usually dudes, and they are right wing for sure. But there's other right wing who are content creators who don't make it their life's mission to constantly talk about me or think about me. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. What do you mean? XQC said it long ago. Everyone needs a villain. They just think their audience will jump on the wagon with little effort. Yeah, I guess.
Like, he spends a lot of time thinking about me. It's a lot. What is this? Let me see here.
Hasan derangement syndrome.
Yes.
We're like, oh, I stubbed my toe. Thanks, Hasan. I will never understand. For the life of me, I will never understand it. What I do to some of these people, because I'm just over here covering the news, and dudes that
Hasan actively pushed to get Aiden Ross deplatformed. How can you expect that Aiden Ross is going to like you if you push to get him deplatformed? Like, I mean, this is not even, it's not even political, right? It's just common sense. Like, obviously he's going to be negative about you doing that, and this is still what he says. What is this?
I never think about, dudes that I never talk about, spend every waking moment trying to bring my name up in every conversation, including like ETH. Like, I don't have a single cryptocurrency coin at all. It's literally because you're brown. Understand? I mean, I'm so white passing, dude. Well, that's crazy.
He's got pretty white skin. I've met Hasan in real life. Yeah, he's pretty close to my skin tone.
Maybe people do see it that way. I don't know.
That's
pre-October 7. I argued with you on that front, but like low key, I think that does play a big role. A lot of the content creators that are in the periphery, quietly watching the events that are unfolding, their hope is that it just inevitably goes away. I think what they fail to recognize, that the lack of counter messaging from progressive voices on this platform, out of understandable fear that they might be harassed endlessly by some of these rabid monsters, has created an environment where the most loud voices you hear are the likes of Asmongold. And there's only one person who is actively in the top, regularly duking it out with these people, and that person is ritualistically humiliated with ridiculous smears over and over again and turned into a toxic pariah. What do you think happens at that point? If the only voices of political discourse is far-right voices, and the only major voice of progressive politics is a guy that those far-right voices are explicitly attacking with regular frequency, from the audience's perspective, they don't actually understand where that silence comes from these other content creators. They don't see the way the sausage gets made. They don't know that this is out of real fear of harassment that they do not want to invoke. So they think, oh, everybody's right-wing. This is cool. Reading an AI script? Yes. I'm reading an AI script. They have like 5 or 6 clips of your friends accidentally seeing stuff on your phone, which they're assuming to be, including Cutie on a Fear End episode. Without context, that could be anything. That could be a weird text message that, unless they're going, wow, I just saw of a random person on your phone, how are they interpreting that as, how are they interpreting that as like me showing people my you know, that I've gotten or something? Wasn't Ethan's whole shtick showing a prolapse people without their consent? Yes, he did do that quite a bit. It was a big bit on his show. And I believe he even did that at one of his live shows where they were not checking IDs. So he might have actually shown a prolapse to, as a matter of fact. But of course, that's different.
You gotta stop bringing up the weird where you talk about Hila Klein and being a valid military target. You think that people, if you think that you didn't mean it that way, then why is everybody in the comments of her Instagram saying that she's a valid military target? Why is that? It's because you never had to say her name. You never had to do that. Nobody asked you to do that. Nobody needed you to do that. Nobody wanted you to do that. I don't even know what you're doing. Like, what is this? So the problem is that a lot of people don't defend you because you do things that are indefensible. You do things like bringing her up whenever you're talking about valid military target. You do talking about how organizations that kidnap people that are like complete third parties, like Filipinos for a year almost. You act like what they're doing is good. Like, that's the problem, right? You want to get people to defend you, you have to do things that are defensible. You can't support this crazy. And then, like, I remember, like, for example, when that one dude went and shot those 2 Israelis at the embassy, you go put your chat on sub mode, everybody's spamming hearts when you're reading the manifesto. Man, that doesn't look good. And I don't, the thing is that there's a lot of people don't, like, everybody gets mad at me, but, like, I know why. It's because I said some crazy, I said we gotta stop people from voting or something like that. Like, I know that people don't want to cash those checks. And the reason why, I write some crazy checks. I say some wild. But the thing is that it's not my fault. Like, it's not their fault. It's my fault. Like, I say it because it's my actions. And so, you had to purge this entire Discord after the couple was assassinated. Yeah, it's bad. And so, like, if you want to have people defend you, if you want to have people be on your side, if you want to go to the streamer games, you want to be part of the, you know, sponsor events, etc., you've got to dial down, man. And I mean, to a certain extent, I'm sure if he sees this, he'll say, oh, you should too. You're right. There are some things I say that probably I'm a little bit too extreme about. It just chill out, man.
The
One
top,
man.
regularly duking it out with these people.
And it's you, the Lone Ranger, the singular Avenger, the man who stands against the mountain. Stop, just please, can you just, please stop this. Please stop. Remember whenever he watched the Superman movie and he said, oh, I can really relate to Superman? Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
That person is ritualistically humiliated with ridiculous smears over and over again and turned into a toxic pariah.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be doing crazy. And you smear other people all the time. You do this all the time. You make about people constantly. You do, and you know you do.
What do you think happens at that point? If the only voices of political discourse is far-right voices, and the only major voice of progressive politics is a guy that those far-right voices are explicitly attacking.
No. People attack what you say. They're not attacking you. Like, I'm not attacking you. I just say, like, you say something that's wrong. You shouldn't say this. Nobody's attacking you. Like, who's making part? Like, yeah, Ethan said your head is small. I didn't say this. Like, yeah, some people say things about Hasan that are just, what is this? What is this?
With regular frequency, from the audience's perspective,
disagree with you.
They don't actually understand where that silence comes from these other content creators. They don't see.
I think this goes both ways, by the way. I think there are a lot of people who would speak up and be more critical of Hasan, but they're also afraid of his fan base because of how much he weaponizes his fan base on Twitter. He will constantly do that. He'll do that all the time. Like, the moment somebody's oppositional to him, he'll retweet them, he'll make posts about them, he'll talk about them, and then, like, also people in his orbit will say things that are a lot worse than what he says. And there's an entire, like, misrepresentation in, complex that happens with these people. So I think this cuts both ways.
So this is what I'm saying. This is an intentional snub. He's watching and he knows. I think he's doing this to intentionally be provocative and just plain rude to me.
Wait.
We know.
I don't even know what.
We know.
I don't know what part of it you're talking about.
We
the thumbnail?
know Philip DeFranco is a Hasan writer.
I don't know about that. In
He's
fact,
always
I
reporting
didn't
on
see
him.
his reaction,
He's
but
always
I
giving
heard
him
Hasan was very upset by this video.
I was too. Well, that's just because Hasan's
it sounds like he's doing his job.
Because Hasan's a crybaby boy, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Like, he has to be the victim.
Okay.
And he successfully made himself the victim, and Philip DeFranco was an accomplice in that.
Look it up.
So is that the slight that you're talking about, or were you talking about the thumbnail?
Well, the thumbnail didn't help.
Okay, so we don't care that much about the thumbnail.
He took the only Jewish person out of the thumbnail. Just
ADL, where you at?
I'm just saying, dog.
ADL.
Some
Listen,
anti-Semitic.
He's doing the A/B test. The test is still ongoing. It sounds like.
Don't bring AB into this. He didn't have anything to do with it.
You know what?
Feels innocent. He passed the test.
You know what I'm saying.
AB didn't decide to take the only Jewish creator out of the.
Well, someone said that Hasan was upset with him too.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah, Hasan was upset.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to show
he's
you
not
guys,
pleasing anybody.
Poor Phil.
because he's a.
Me feel really bad.
Which is why you gotta grow a spine.
No,
you're never gonna please everybody.
Stop throwing it to everybody.
Did you see Aiden said he's going to ask Trump to deport you? Ethan is going to suck Aiden Ross for that. That's so funny. Aiden Ross is about to be the #1 greatest ally to Ethan Klein and the pest that is also known as Destiny. Asmongold, that there was a good reason to protect Destiny here, to defend Destiny here, because he's like, his enemies are so much worse than him. Me, ironically enough, that's what they literally think. That I'm like actively terrorizing the country. I'm a hater of America.
Dude, I say we let them fight. I think we let Destiny and Hasan fight this battle.
Sabotage.
Let them blow each other
America.
up.
And he's the only bulwark against like.
If both of these guys stop streaming by tomorrow, I don't think anything of value would be lost. And even better, I think that, well, not even better, but I think that everything going on in Israel or Palestine right now would be largely unchanged by that revelation.
Growing communism in the country that they've been deluded into thinking is like a reasonable force to reckon with, or even a scary one at all.
The internet would heal. The internet would be a better place if both of these people stopped streaming.
Yeah, it turns out Pedstiny reminds me of Anisian, but the debate lord is just a lot of people who are invested in right-wing commentary. That's what I thought. And I think I was a little wrong about that. I think that there is an organic audience for right-wing commentary. It's just not as big as I thought it was, at least on this platform. I mean, one of the biggest like cuts adjusted to their viewership is like Tectone, Asmongold's second in command. He's had a big cut as well. I believe he went from like what did he go from? Sully Gnome. Thank God you were wrong. Yeah, I placed a lot of emphasis on like organic viewership. I thought it was like real. And I thought it was and the reason, yeah, he went from like 5K or he went from like 5K viewers to, as soon as the bots went down, to 1K, 1.5K to 2K. Hasan is making me learn about their streamers against my will. He dropped almost 50% of his viewers, but today he begged his Kick YouTube streams to open his Twitch stream on another tab. Why would you ever think anything the right wing is doing is real? I look at these numbers as a content creator because I'm matching the political shift happening in the environment that I exist in real time. And I thought it was and the reason, yeah, he went from like 5K or he went from like 5K viewers to, as soon as the bots went down, to 1K, 1.5K to 2K.
Why? Why do you do this? Nobody asked you to do this.
Don't promote gambling! Promote terrorism! Yes! Guys, don't gamble! Instead, be a boom!
Be it. I like that he went. This is incredible. This is incredible political commentary. I'm glad that he's still doing that. I got destroyed in the marketplace of ideas. I can't really do nothing about that. Hasan intellectually destroyed in the marketplace of ideas. Yeah, Chatter was right. XUC was right about me. There's nothing I can do about that. It's weird how y'all were friends at once. Yeah. Yeah. I'm promoting by saying, hey, Israel shouldn't do genocide. And also the international law dictates that people are allowed to fight back against Israel doing. It's cool because like he basically went from he went from why are you calling me out for promoting gambling? I'm also racist. I know that a lot of people in these spaces just don't want to think too much or think too hard about, politics in general, and they want like a comfortable narrative, so they go, "Oh, dude, but like that's, kind of a ridiculous thing to say about a dude. Kind of a ridiculous thing to say about a dude who's just like consistently been advocating to not children in Gaza or just children anywhere, really.
So dishonest. Yes.
And also, the international law dictates that people are allowed to fight back against
That's
Israel.
not, bro. You're shadow boxing. This is from 7 dramas ago. You're thinking 1 drama ago. XQC is talking about the thing that happened last year. Like, no. This is like it. No, he really makes. No, he's thinking that XQC is talking about the Hila Klein thing.
Doing.
Oh.
It's cool because like
it's cool.
He basically went from he went from why are you calling me out for promoting gambling? I'm also I know that a lot of people
So Hasan, so basically the argument for why it's good to promote and play videos and say that you're 10 toes down support this is because Israel is bad and XQC. I actually think that Hasan a little bit did get destroyed in the free marketplace of ideas. I think this is a pretty bad idea. What is just stop it. Just what I don't know how long he's going to do this.
People in these spaces just don't want to think too much or think too hard about, politics in general.
Yeah.
And they want like a comfortable narrative, so they go, "Oh, dude, you promote," but like that's kind of a ridiculous thing to say.
I know. Yeah, that's what's so yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous.
About a dude. Kind of a ridiculous thing to say about a dude who's just like.
About a dude
Consistently been advocating to not in Gaza.
Everybody's on your side. XQC's on your side. I'm on your side. Ethan's on your side. Everybody's on your side with this. Stop it. Stop. This is so crazy.
Are you fucking haggling me, bro?
No. Yo, I think 5K is fair, chat, because he's way better than Ron and XQC. Chat, really, guys?
They're saying El June in chat.
What is this? Chat, what is happening right now? Bro!
I feel like you gotta, it's gotta be.
So you're saying I have to put up more than you, basically?
Yes, I need odds, obviously. Top 5 in the world? Are you crazy?
Top 90, top 90. Okay.
Top 90?
Okay, let me think. Chat, I give Jason... Alright, I'll spice this up a little bit. If you beat me without a coach in the call, I'll give you 10,000.
I did cancel the Cuba trip, yes, because I didn't want to go to prison. And unfortunately... He's going to run, he won't do it? No, he'll do it. But we're locked in. What's the context behind you saying U.S. deserved 9/11? It's very simple. American foreign policy and intervention in the region directly caused blowback and led to 9/11.
Psychiatrist or a therapist like psychoanalyze what Hasan thinks about himself. And here is Hasan him pants and attempting to poison the well of any critiques that Ethan Klein sends his way because, guys, it appears that we're getting a content nuke part 2 that's even worse than part 1. Let's see.
They have like 5 or 6 clips of your friends accidentally seeing stuff on your phone, which they're assuming to be, including Cutie on a Fear End episode. Without context, that could be anything. That could be a weird text message that, unless they're going, wow, I just saw a of a random person on your phone, how are they interpreting that as... Are they interpreting that as like me showing people my that I've gotten or something?
I think it's insane that Hasan has, 1, interacted with his community and gotten them to say, and then 2, distributed to his content creator friends. And the fact that that has not been punished yet is psychotic to me. Go ahead, think about it, big man.
Wasn't Ethan's whole shtick showing a prolapse to people without their consent? Yes, he did do that quite a bit. It was a big bit on a show.
I think there's a big difference between showing a random prolapse on the internet compared to with your community, receiving from your community, and then distributing from your community to your streamer friends. There is a large difference between watching or online versus distributing that your girlfriend sent you. And the fact that you were going to act ignorant to that fact speaks volumes.
I did cancel the Cuba trip, yes, because I didn't want to go to prison. And unfortunately, he's going to run. He won't do it. No, he'll do it. But we're locked in. What's the context behind you saying U.S. deserved 9/11? It's very simple. American foreign policy and intervention in the region directly caused blowback and led to all of a sudden Ethan decided, like, I hate Hasan. He is responsible for everything that's ever happened. If you're pro-Palestine and you're a female content creator, he will call you every name under the sun. Okay? If you're pro-Palestine and you know, a visible content creator that's like actively being attacked by the Trump administration, stalwart ally of the Palestinians / major liberal Ethan Klein will literally demand that the administration take action against you. Okay? He will sue you. He will take action against you. He will call you a terrorist over and over again. He will try to get attention from advocacy groups to try to get you deplatformed. Okay? You spend months trying to fucking humiliate these people. Now you got a guy who's actually, you know, not holding back. You got a guy who's actually not holding back, and this is what you have to say? Like the way he has talked about Denims, the way he's talked about Frogan, the way he's talked about me, the way he's talked about Ian, iDubbbz, Anisa, versus the way he's talking about Destiny, who is super pro-Israel, and by Ethan's own admission, is a person who wants 15-year-olds, and he's like, I love you. You're the GOAT. You're a huge inspiration. Here's one of your friends. Here's one of your friends saying that on your phone as like either a joke or the famous Cosmo article where I'm talking to a journalist and I'm like, oh, you know, my fans are sending me merch, like photos of themselves wearing my merch. And then in the process of me like going through those photos, there's one that was an unsolicited. And I said, oop, that was, and then we moved on. It's not something that I had requested, or it's not something that I'm like distributing. It's just, it's completely ridiculous. But the reason why they do this is because whenever a content creator is in trouble in any of these circles, like I am basically a magnet for deflecting attention away. And those unsolicited aren't just from women either. There's like dudes sending pics too. And they basically will, anyway, as I was saying, I'm like a magnet for like some of the worst scumbags online, as you guys have seen. So they'll immediately go, well, Hasan has done this. It's actually worse what he's done. And it's like not the same thing at all. What's wrong with the man bun? Dude, I was so broke too. So I would literally shave my sides myself. Just so you guys understand the struggle. I shaved the sides myself. And it was always up. Yeah, I look like a Malibu yoga instructor. Devastating. Oh God. I was hitting. I was serving a little bit though. Like the fit is, but I was serving.
Everybody for enjoying the VODs. Everybody's, you know, people are turning around on the VODs. They are saying,
Ethan, I'm going to be honest. I think after the debate with Hasan, Ethan redeemed himself in the eyes of a lot of people. And whenever they found out that Ethan had like this master plan to like sue all of these people reacting to his content, I think like this was the absolute goated Giga Chad move, man. It was so good.
Did you see Troll was kind of blaming it on you? Yes, dude. He is in a very weird environment. himself. I think he's like trying to like design like a reasonable liberal position for himself, where he just like actively says like the real evil in this country is not the Trump administration or reactionary conservatism, but instead is Hassan Abi Piker and others like him. It's the Twitter leftists that he thinks are the primary villains here. Doesn't really narrow it down. Was the former username of my former podcast co-host Ethan Klein. Okay, he was outed as having a early Reddit account where he would just like engage in what he said was trolls. He called himself that.
We have to regulate these scumbags. They're going to destroy everything. And I'll say, it's been so nice not being on Twitter and TikTok and not like thinking about or getting sucked into it. But now I feel like, they sucked me back in or whatever.
When they thought it was out, they pulled me back in.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll be very tactical, Dan.
Tactical.
I'll be very surgical with my usage there. I need these people to call in. Come own me. Come call in and own my ass. Everybody, come on. Let's go. That's what I need. And also, yeah, I'm afraid I might have to get back on these social media accounts. And I'm not, and it sucks because...
You're going to have to what?
Get back on these social media sites. The battlegrounds.
You think posting more is going to help?
Well, not like
what
more just so like compilations and explanations and stuff.
TikTok is our home.
Curated.
Not
right.
TikTok is not
heavily
curated.
Yeah.
I don't think posting is very helpful.
No, I agree. Certainly not. But
I disagree.
I
disagree. I feel like if it was you actually talking, like you see a crazy comment and you pin the comment and record yourself actually talking about it, that's the kind of stuff that people will watch.
Yeah, people just do TikToks explaining yourself. I'll try. I think I gotta try. These TikTokers are mad, dude. You know what? I was wrong the whole time. I think it's can I even say this? I think it's a shame. I think I can say this. Triller should have won. Triller should have won the war.
I don't think about Ethan Klein at all. He's not a person that occupies any kind of time in my mind, if we're being real.
My thoughts are, it is kind of crazy that Hasan doesn't understand why people don't like him whenever you have been supporting awful actions against America, interviewing some of the worst people and defending them, spreading misinformation and promoting political violence as well as just violence in general, while also being a hypocrite and liar. Especially because you also have such a negative, you're so negative, the way that he is overall as a human being is completely negative and makes me miserable. Like I say, like some of these videos, like the videos I make, like the one on Josh, it's like secondhand misery I get sometimes while making these videos. Like, these guys are really rough to, like, who watches this? There are some really mentally hurt people that are only ruining their lives even more by just sitting there and watching Hasan streams all day or watching Ian streams. Because how do you not sit here sometimes and think, I really need to go get a job. I need to go do something productive. I need to get away from the internet even. Some people literally, their entire days are spent sitting there hyper tweeting all day or all night and watching Hasan streams and like talking about politics and stuff. Like, that's such a miserable life to live. I don't understand how people do. I don't understand how people can sit here and watch these streams all day. I feel bad for people like Oct 20,000 or 2,000, whichever one it is, because like he has to sit there and watch all this stuff. I'm not saying he's a miserable person. I think he's probably happier than Hasan, but even me as a spectator of this stuff, I get tired of it. And all these people are just exhausted and probably hateful because of that. I truly do think that. Internet fatigue, it's it's kind of real. I feel like calling Ethan obsessive and making it about X-rated pleasures was also really weird. I don't understand why why people keep pushing these narratives about X-rated, feelings. His usual weird nonchalant act and acting like he didn't support, T-sided acts, CTT, CS players will know. Don't know if it's true that there is another content new coming out about Hasan. I haven't seen any clips recently of Ethan talking about it. Maybe there was some in my last video where he was hinting at a new video being made. I think at some point H3 is going to make one because there is some stuff to go over, such as how apparently Hasan is being X-rated with his fans and stuff, which was talked about in these clips. There was also probably some more stuff that I can't really think of right now. It's stuff towards Charlie Kirk. I forgot I have actual screenshots as well of tweets that I should have went over. Is after Charlie Kirk's passing, it seemed like Hasan was, for whatever reason, getting like interviews from like news places like Vanity Fair, and I think another spot. He got 2. H3 just didn't really say anything too important on one of the responses. But it seemed like he was going on some random, I don't understand why, promotion campaign. The article says Hasan Piker, Charlie Kirk, and his political ideology deserved an honest assessment. The progressive streamer who had been scheduled to debate Kirk this month, that's why, I think is why they're doing these, at an event put on by a college political group, discusses why he's frustrated with the discourse in the wake of Kirk's killing. I don't know exactly what this article says. I don't care enough about it. I don't know what he said. He supports these type of acts, by the way. He literally supports these type of acts. So I don't care what he said on stream. He said stuff plenty of times before promoting political violence and violent people. So doesn't really matter what he said here. It's all fake if he tries to say anything nice, I feel. Unless, you know, the real version of him doesn't support violence at all and just wants to chill. But you should be your real self if that's the case.
I'm sick and tired of it. Left-wingers, liberals, you need to be showing your opponent's guts on there, okay? You need to be gutting them. You need to be shanking these and letting their intestines just ride on stage. What the fuck is this, man? Slice them up. Slice them and dice them. What the fuck is this? You cannot have a bigger layup. You could not have had a bigger layup than a horrible candidate like Herschel Walker. Sure, he was prepared very well. And Herschel Walker actually had a good...
thing we do need to make sure we do, we got to keep attracting younger viewers that, you know, grow up on TikTok, you know, when they're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, even though they shouldn't be.
And 3, it's like all here. Now this guy is down. He's dead. These guys are like... and fatally wounded. They're not even like... They're not even running. They're not even like cowering and running away and screaming in fear. There's like, okay, well, they did it. We got our shots. Okay, is this guy done? Oh, well, okay. Well, we brought the white...
It's called shock, you idiot. It's called shock. Anything that happens, I mean, like, a whole... Guys, if you live in Florida, I have an opportunity for you. If you want to earn $100,000, let me know.
So we can put that over the bleeding part, assuming he got shot and is actually right. Flag and then this guy
874 Bellevue Drive, and I'm gonna kill you with my AR-15. Like that's the type of messages they were leaving in this dude's office, and he's resigning. Like he's literally, this is his last term. So I think that people are a lot more radical.
It's hurt poor people that they can afford housing in Berkeley. I don't know how that works.
My understanding is that the property owners who have properties there choose just not to rent it at all.
Yeah, kill them. Kill those and murder those in the street. Let the streets soak in their red capitalist bloods, dude.
Anyway, H3 says, this is genuinely sickening. This is the second feature since Charlie was assassinated. At first, one was a day after. One day. He was doing PR before Charlie's body was returned to his family. I've never seen such a sickening exploitation of a tragic event. These articles are about how he's actually the victim in all of this, despite the fact that he is the biggest disseminator of violent rhetoric online today. The authors of these articles should resign and never work in journalism again. Disgusting. And it's true, because there is so many clips, and I might have shown one in this video as well, at some point, where Hasan, and I think in the last video about all this stuff, about iDubbbz, had this in it, or maybe the one before, he supports political violence. He's promoted it several times. I think he called for Nick Fuentes to be hit.
Moment is clear. You got to sick like the ACP guys on him. Okay, that's it. You got to get one of those like Haz al-Dink type to just like eat alive, you know? Let him fight. whatever the fuck his name is. What is it? The Albanian dude.
And it's like, no matter what their opinions are, especially these guys that have no control over anything and just maybe an influence, and it's just like the actions that some of these people do are not like equivalent to these type of actions against them. You know what I mean? Like, it was senseless. Hasan said, I made this tragedy about myself for expressing concern for myself and my family. Meanwhile, he's using this tragedy as a launching pad into another PR campaign. I am truly shocked by how cynical this all is. The authors and editors are complicit in helping Hasan avoid accountability for his obvious and continued call for violence. And it's true. It's very true. But to go on, it's kind of nice that some of the clips literally spoke for me, though, and already debunked some of the stuff, thanks to Asmongold and stuff like that. Some of these people I don't really like. I don't watch at all, by the way. I don't watch Asmongold. I don't watch H3. I don't watch Hasan. I don't watch streamers in general. The last one I watched apparently has some message, like has allegations against him. So, yeah, there's that. I literally just, and also, you know, the other one supported Wings of Redemption. So, the only live streams I really watched are kind of just out of the picture now. So, some of these guys I maybe not exactly like or completely support make good points against Hasan. So, and Ethan has a good point that Hasan doesn't believe in going to prison for what he believes in. Like shown in that other clip before. I don't know why Hasan thinks he would get arrested either. I don't know if there's a policy or something about going to Cuba and going to be arrested if you do, or why they would arrest Hasan in general for whatever reason. If they wanted you, they would just go to your house, I'm pretty sure, if you did anything specifically bad. Although you did do a lot of bad things that are definitely questionable. You know, the Charlie Kirk assassination, you know, could be linked to you in ways because you promoted political violence. But he thinks he's this, quote, voice of the people political dude and tries to say all this stuff, but then won't, like, risk getting arrested, which I don't know why he would get arrested. Some of y'all can explain that in the comments for me. End. Thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I want to say thank you again for all the support, and make sure to use the hype feature as well, as it helps me out a lot. I think getting a video on the hype chart up against iDubbbz would be pretty cool, would be pretty interesting. You can't really be ignored at that point. And I think one of the bigger topics, such as, you know, the entire connection with Shadman, is going to be something that's going to be overlooked for a long time. I want to see if someone can pressure iDubbbz into responding to that, because that's a super bad connection to have online. Make sure to follow my Twitter, is linked in the description below. There's a lot to cover, a lot to go over, a lot to talk about in the comments, especially with the Shadman stuff. The, you know, Anisa basically saying that she's a demon of sorts, and I don't really know why she would like to have that label against her. She already has all these other bad labels, but then she's like, oh yeah, the demon one's kind of funny though, so I'm going to use it. Like, it's not. You're being a little weird, and, you know, you should find God and get closer to him, you and Ian both, and it'd probably help your all's marriage. It's just really strange to want to have that demonic label on yourself. But there was that. I thought it was very interesting that I kind of cracked the case on that while making the video. The streaming failures and the streaming clips. I planned on making a video. Like I said before, I'm going to be making a video soon or next, as long as nothing else happens, no other big updates, on a YouTuber that I've talked about before in the past. There was a huge thing that came out against him. I've been meaning to make a video on it, but now I should have time. It's just that iDubbbz made this video, and I made that video coming clean, and I want to go over it. So that's basically why this video was made, and there's a little bit of stuff to go over. It's been about a month since my last video on iDubbbz anyway, so it's about time to do an update video anyway. So yeah, expect those. If you like those type of videos, make sure to like and subscribe, as I do videos on locales, internet dramas, and more. Make sure to use the hype feature, as it will help me out a lot. Like I said, I want to get on the chart to expose iDubbbz. Make sure to follow my Twitter, is linked in the description below. And in the end, I'm PERK30, and keep God close.
I don't think I've publicly expressed pathos for my, is that the word you look up, pathos? Pity or sorrow? I've never relished the misfortune of iDubbbz, just so you guys know.
Thought it was horrific. This is not, and well, like I said at the time, and people on the left were even criticizing me. They go, oh, Ethan was talking bad about Luigi. How much has he changed? That was my point. He went out and murdered this guy, right? What changed? Not a single thing changed. That's not how we enact change. And so I wouldn't recommend watching the video, but for me, it it's terrifying.
I feel like it's such a terrifying moment for everybody, and to understand this is what we've come to, and I can't help but think about the poor wife, you know.
Kids. Yeah, we've all been scared. Some of us have been looking into getting our concealed license permit.
Yeah.
But seeing it like that definitely made it more realistic and very scary.
I've avoided watching the video, but I heard Ethan's reaction when he saw it. I was like, I knew that was something you don't see every day.
I was brought to tears then, because I don't know. I don't think I need to explain it anymore. But I hope people take this seriously.
In whatever way, shape, or form, that making a pact with the devil is going to come out good for you. It's not. You're going to get fucked.